with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts. As a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network, Capital One is here to help you learn more about today's top athletes. Plus, Capital One offers no fees or minimums on checking accounts. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
Spice up the big game with a hot box from Dave's Hot Chicken.
iHeartRadio and NBC Sports bring you Two Guys, Five Rings.
Two Guys, Five Rings. Wow. We're your hosts.
I'm Matt Rogers.
I'm Bowen Yang.
One essential podcast for the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy.
Milan Cortina. They're actually making the huge mistake of sending us there.
The most expansive Winter Olympics ever.
Follow Two Guys, Five Rings and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Listen to the Two Guys, Five Rings podcast on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart.
The biggest night in football is almost here. On Kalshi, you can now legally trade game day props, like will a quarterback win MVP? Yes, is trading at 27%, meaning $100 trade pays out $371 if it hits. And Kalshi isn't betting. It's a live market where you can trade against other people, buying in and out as prices move. Download the Kalshi app, use the code PODCAST to get $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
And the winner of the iHeart Podcast Award is...
You can decide who takes home the 2026 iHeart Podcast Awards Podcast of the Year by voting at iHeartPodcastAwards.com now through February 22nd. See all the nominees and place your vote at iHeartPodcastAwards.com.
Audible is a proud sponsor of the Audible Audio Pioneer Award. Explore the best selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals all in one easy app. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KBET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Two legendary coaches, Vic Schaefer, Kim Mulkey. Top 5 matchup. Number 5 LSU against number 4 Texas.
Back out to Preston again. Brianna back to Crump. This time she does measure up a 3 and knocks it down. Into the front court, here's Booker. Maddie on the left side. Spin move around traffic. Now out front to Brianna Preston. In the corner, Jordan Lee, contested 3, and it's good for Jordan. Into the front court, Harmon out front. How about Booker for 3? Nope. Yes! It rattled out and then popped back in. Madison Booker with 12. The Longhorns have the lead. Back in front, 32-31. To the right side for Wiley. Left-hand dribble. Swings it out. Stolen by Harmon. Rory, a steal, a pass to Booker. Lead pass. Sidbury off the glass for 2. LSU has the pass stolen by Crump. Aaliyah out to Booker. Into the paint. To Sidbury. She scores. The steal by Crump to Booker to Sidbury. Texas up 14. 67-53. Still looking. Lobs it in. It's stolen by Harmon. And she's fouled by Full Wiley. 10 on the shot clock. 14 on the game clock. Harmon, left side, still working the dribble down to 5 seconds. Backs it out for 3 seconds. Left side. Harmon shoots a fadeaway. Missed it off the rim. Oldacre, the rebound out front to Harmon. That's going to do it. The Longhorns get the win. Texas with the victory tonight. And they do balance the books with LSU. Final score here tonight at Moody Center in Austin. The Texas Longhorns 77. The LSU Tigers 64.
That was the big event that happened last night, and I have to say, I did not anticipate opening today's show following the highlight montage with the words, "I'm not dead. I'm not dead."
Alive. It's alive. It's alive.
I am quite alive and well. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm glad. First of all, welcome to the program on a Friday here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone, and where it's always free on the iHeartRadio app. My name is Craig Way. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, those of you who now realize I'm not dead. This stuff happens. I start to say I don't know why it happens, but I guess I do know why. I mean, whatever, there's clickbait involved or whatever it is. But a little while ago, I got a text from Mike Harge, who, of course, co-hosts the morning kickoff, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. here on 13 Under the Zone with the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. And I got a text, and all it said from Harge was, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, something up?" And then he called me. He goes, "Dude, there's a thing out there that says you're dead." I'm like, "What?" And sure enough, it was a post, and I can only, I guess, imagine that this is some sort of clickbait thing. Anyway, it came up on a site called Loyal Longhorns Fans, and with the invitation to follow. And
it's got a Texas City address on Facebook. Very strange.
Well, my there's a photo of me, and it's from the Alcalde photo shoot about a year and a half ago in the magazine. It's the crazy one, the one where I'm sticking my arms up in the air because they wanted me to do that and just act all nutty, and so I did. And on the photo, it says RIP 1960 to 2026. It says his decades of dedication, coupled with the tragic circumstances of his passing, had brought tears to the eyes of Longhorn Nation as they come together to honor the voice that echoed through the 40 acres. And then on the post at the top, it says, the Longhorn family is heartbroken over the sudden loss of a legendary voice in a broadcasting booth following an unfortunate accident. Ooh, I'd be interested to find out what the accident was. Anyway, our thoughts...
Don't click the link.
I don't. Our thoughts are with their loved ones and the entire 40 acres community during this difficult time. Let me tell you, the only difficult time was me having to diffuse this crap this afternoon. And I actually posted, I said the great quote from Mark Twain when somebody thought he had died. The reports of my demise appear to be a little exaggerated. Now, Mark Twain did not add this part, but I did. I said, must be an AI-generated hack. I'm very much alive and not dead. So, yeah, I'm glad about that. I feel bad for those who might have been alarmed. Our good friend Gene Watson, our MLB insider, called me from Houston because somebody said, hey, did you see the social media post? Craig Way's dead. So I see the phone ringing. I know what's going to happen. I answer the phone. I said, I'm not dead. So I'm not. And then my best friend goes, how do we really know it's you saying you're not? Because this is a thing like the whole Paula's dead hoax with the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we should bump back on a Friday with something from Abbey Road. Anyway, thank you for those of you who said the nice things and whatever. I
have questions for the 20 likes. Who sees that post just goes, yeah, okay, thumbs up.
He's dead. And they like that. Okay, all right.
Lots of comments saying rest in peace. Yeah. Everyone else, some internet detectives, this might be fake. Yeah. No, why would anyone make this up?
Yeah. And again, my best friend, not only did he say that on text to me, he also posted, Yeah, but how do we know it's really him? Just like when Billy Shears replaced McCartney after he died. How do we know the same thing isn't happening here? Friend Tom Franklin, former voice of the Houston Oilers and Rice Owls, and TV personality said, I wasn't expecting this. Then again, I don't think you were either. That's true. So anyway, for all of you, thank you. And we can go about our business and all that kind of stuff. Dave South, former voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, said they had me dying of ALS last week. My goodness. So anyway, he said, this is really good. If you've listened to my friends Donovan and Miller on The Ticket, they do a skit during football season called the Craig Way Memorial High School Football Game of the Week. And they pick out, different matchups. Somebody said I was worried that the Craig Way Memorial High School Game of the Week was suddenly accurate.
Oh, no.
So anyway, it's not. I'm fine. Thank you. And thanks for the concern. We're all okay. Nobody's dead here. I'm not anyway. So with that, I just wanted to clear that out, okay? And to prove it, we're going to do a show this afternoon. Coming up in a few minutes, Isaiah Stanback, a Super Bowl champion himself. He works for NFL Network and also does a lot of the Dallas Cowboys television programming in the studio, and also is their analyst on the preseason telecast. So, and he's my analyst on some of the state championship high school games. And he'll join us for his look at Super Bowl 60. We'll get his thoughts on the Super Bowl. We're going to hear from Vic Schaefer today. We're going to hear from Sean Miller. I'll look back at the Texas women's huge win over LSU last night. I'll look ahead to the big matchup for the Longhorn men tomorrow against Ole Miss. We do have Inconceivable on a Friday. I feel like I have to say that, Inconceivable includes the fact that I'm not dead. But anyway, we've cleared that up. So we do have Inconceivable. We do know what Inconceivable does mean on Friday, however.
Florida Man Friday.
Yep.
Grab the low-hanging fruit from the most flaccid of the lower 48.
Absolutely. So we have that as well. So we've got all of those things. We're more than happy to take your questions, your thoughts, your comments on our text line. All you have to do is text the word Texas, followed by your question or comment to 81530. Standard messaging and data rates may apply. And I think we have, 3 pairs of tickets to give away?
That's right.
To tomorrow's game against Ole Miss. We'll tell you how you can win those coming up as well. But up next, Isaiah Stanback with a preview of Super Bowl 60 here on 1300 The Zone.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. That's pay. Enter it now.
AM 1300 The Zone.
iHeartRadio.
Olympics update.
The Winter Olympics opening ceremony is today in Milan. Speed skating Olympic champion Erin Jackson is excited to be one of the Team USA flag bearers.
Oh, it means so much. I ran into one of my teammates in the cafeteria yesterday, and he was like, I've been voting for you like crazy.
Saturday is the first full day of competition in Milan. The action will include alpine skiing and the men's downhill medal event.
For NBC's live coverage from Italy, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every Olympic dream starts with a first glide. Through Learn to Skate USA, kids build confidence, strength, and joy on the ice. Learn to Skate USA offers programs for skaters of all ages and abilities. Find a program near you at learntosskateusa.com.
Save 30% on chicken wings with Prime through February 10th at Whole Foods Market. Perfect for weeknight dinners or meal prepping. Made with high-quality, strict ingredient standards you can trust. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Bobby Bones. You think you know what's going to happen during the big game? Call it with DraftKings Predictions, a new app where you can predict outcomes on football's biggest game. Make real money predictions on the big game and put your money where your knowledge is. Pick a topic, make a prediction. Like, what will the total score be? Will the underdog cover? Which team will be lifting the trophy at the end? Then see if your big game smarts pay off. DraftKings Predictions is new and simple to use with big game trading. Available here in Texas.
Download now. New DraftKings Predictions customers get up to a $75 first trade bonus with promo code AM1300. Don't just feel it, predict it with DraftKings Predictions. The crown is yours. DraftKings Predictions is a CFTC registered introducing broker. Event contract trading involves substantial risk of loss. One per new customer. Opt-in required. Non-withdrawable predictions dollars expire in 1 year. Ends February 8th, 2026. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
Score major deals on top brands at Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Find your dream mattress today. Their sleep experts are highly trained to find the right one to fit your unique needs. They make sleep easy.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Harge and Henry, the morning kickoff, weekdays at 7. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
Okay. It is Super Bowl weekend, Super Bowl 60 on board. And if we're going to talk about the Super Bowl, and of course there's always the stories, and I've covered, obviously, the Cowboys when they were in the Super Bowls. But, it's important to get the perspective of someone who knows all about the Super Bowl. And that would be our first guest today. He's a good friend, outstanding broadcaster for NFL Network, the Dallas Cowboys Network, and I'm happy to say I've been fortunate enough to have him on, have him as my analyst on the Texas State High School Championship games. It's Isaiah Stanback who joins us now on the hotline. How you doing, Zay?
Oh, he just dropped out.
All right, we'll try and get him back here momentarily. So we'll do that. Meanwhile, hey, news to let you know, you'll be able to hear the Super Bowl here on 1300 The Zone Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. So,
hello.
Hey, Zay, it's Craig. You got me?
Check.
Hey, can you hear me there, Isaiah? All right, there's got to be something there that's why he's not able to hear us there on the other line as well. So in the meantime, while we'll try to get that figured out, let's hear from Texas head coach Vic Schaefer on the Longhorns win last night over the LSU Tigers. fought back from an early deficit and then really put them away with a strong second half.
What an incredible effort by our team tonight. I just, man, was that number 22? Giving God the glory for number 22, but man, giving God the glory for this group of young ladies. Well, how special they are. They were so tough tonight. I think they really took it upon themselves to be different from the last time we played this team. And again, just a lot of respect and admiration for LSU. I think they're so good. They're so tough. I think, they're just really hard to guard. Michaela's just, she's so special, and Flage, those two big-time guards that are just really hard to deal with. And, of course, Richard's been playing so well. And so just, again, Coach and her staff, a lot of respect. And I think that team is just playing as good as anybody in the country. And to see us go out there and compete like we did, I thought Booker got us off to a great start, made some really good shots for us early. We were still having a hard time guarding them a little bit. And then their second leading scorer has been Richard. And I thought Rory did a nice job on Michaela, and then Booker on Richard. I really thought that was kind of the key for us defensively. Me, I'm looking at that fourth quarter going, hey, when we're holding people to 11 points, especially a team like that's averaging 90-something points a game, man, you're playing your guts out. Like, this team played their heart out tonight, y'all. And that atmosphere, unbelievable. Our fans, the atmosphere that was in that building tonight, I mean, just really special. And our kids deserve it, y'all. They worked so hard, but they played the way they know I want them to play. They were tough tonight. They didn't get out toughed. They really answered the bell. And we talked about that. And so, again, Booker got us off to a great start. I thought Rory's defense was incredible as usual. I mean, to get 6 steals against that team. And you bring Crump off the bench. I mean, she's 7 for 10, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and from 3, and has 5 rebounds. And, you all are looking at the same thing I'm looking at, and you see the presence that she has as a freshman. And, we got 2 kids up here with her that as freshmen, they both had that it to them, and she's got the it. And so I thought Rory ran her team really, got people in the right place, right time, and really executed some good stuff. And again, I thought her defense on Michaela, as well as her help side, was really, really special. Michaela was 2 for 4 in the second half after starting 5 for 7. She was 5 for 7 at half. So just, and I'm proud of my 4 players. I thought Taya Sidbury off the bench, her and Justice were really good against their 4 players. Their 4 players beat us. They out-toughed us the first time. And I thought those 2 really answered the bell and competed really hard tonight versus their 4s. So, again, it's just a battle. Like I told Coach when I shook her hand, I mean, what a battle, what a war. I mean, I just felt like it was a heavyweight title fight, and it just body blow after body blow. And we finally got a little separation there in the fourth quarter. So it's a good win for us. But you got no rest for the weary. You got to get ready for a Kentucky team that's in the top 15 or 20 in the country on Monday. And again, just really proud of my kids, man. That was hard. Like that was a hell of a game, y'all. And to see our kids out there just playing their hearts out, man, I couldn't be more proud of them.
All right, there's from Vic Schaefer. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll see if we can reconnect with Isaiah Stanback here on 1300 The Zone.
Wake up with Harge and Henry in the morning kickoff.
Why is your mouth overloading your hummingbird rear end? That's what it is.
Say that again.
Huh? His hummingbird mouth was overloading his rear end.
What?
You made fun of me for making up stuff this morning.
You gotta come. Hey, that's East Texas, baby. That's East Texas. Big Texas.
Weekdays at 7.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose?
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Got wrecked? Got a pain in your neck? Thomas J. Henry is your next call. Thomas J. Henry has put over $1 billion in our clients' pockets in just 4 years. And we can help you too. Just look at our over 14,000 5-star reviews. The numbers and our clients speak for themselves. So if you've been in a car accident, visit thomasjhenrylaw.com today. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. Principal office in San Antonio.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me."
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TODAY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TODAY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TODAY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you. People who understand the value of experienced, highly skilled professionals. That's why you'll have access to a team of specialists to help you invest for the life you want. Why? You've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a team built around you. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hennion & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
You know that feeling when you're watching a game and you feel like you already know the script? You can now turn that knowledge into real money on Better. They pay you better for being right more than any other fantasy app out there. LeBron over 30 points, Mahomes under 250 yards. Just pick more or less on your favorite player's stats. It's that simple. And Better gives you the highest potential payouts in fantasy, up to 10,000x. Download Better Picks and turn your sports instincts into real money. Sports just got better with Better. Must be 21 or older in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply.
This month, iHeartRadio is celebrating the stars of the 2026 Winter Games. From Afton, Minnesota, Jessie Diggins is the heartbeat of Team USA. As the most decorated American cross-country skier in history, she brings her relentless endurance and famous glitter-adorned cheeks to the trails of Italy. Whether in sprint or distance events, Diggins is known for leaving absolutely everything on the snow. She arrives in the Alps determined to add another chapter to a legacy built on grit. For more Winter Games gold, search Olympics on the iHeartRadio app.
Before it was vintage, it was a revolution. This smells like the 90s. A decade that tore up the rulebook and defined a new world of alternative. Nirvana, Alanis, Pearl Jam, Weezer, No Doubt, and more. With free weekend. Your favorite era? Just a tap away. Open the free iHeartRadio app and listen now.
iHeartRadio. It's the morning kickoff show with Mike Hardball Harge and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Only on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Here it is, inconceivable on a Friday. Inconceivable that a technical issue prevented us having the opportunity to visit with Isaiah Stanback. We'll see if we can hook up with him another time, but there's a technical problem there. But we have plenty to get to with regard to the inconceivable file. And more than just the Florida Man Friday stuff, more than just that. We'll start it off, actually, with a fast food, junk food update. So if you're into Hershey's, and in specific the Hershey's Kisses, you're going to like what's coming for Easter. Hershey's has announced that just in time for Easter, Cadbury, which is owned by Hershey, the same company, will debut 2 mini candies, a Cadbury mini cream egg and a Cadbury mini caramel egg. These new mini eggs will deliver those same Cadbury flavors that many know and love, the milk chocolate with the rich cream or the gooey caramel center, but it's going to be in a bite-sized format that's perfect for Easter baskets, egg hunts, candy bowls, or desk drawers as well. So all of that available coming to the Easter that'll bring it around. Okay, how about this? We live in a world, as we know, where there are size restrictions depending on your age and age restrictions. And I'm talking about for a lot of different things, among those children and theme parks. Disneyland falls right into this category. And a trip to Disneyland, you would think, the 2-year-old is supposed to be about all the fun stuff, the hugs with the characters, the nap schedules. It's not supposed to involve security guards sizing up your toddler like a bouncer at a nightclub. But for some parents of tall kids, the happiest place on earth, as they describe Disneyland, can suddenly feel like an interrogation room when the staff decides that a child looks too big to be admitted for free. So the stakes get even higher when those suspicions collide with strict ticket rules and a viral video culture that turns tense moments into a public spectacle. Behind the headline about a mom bringing her 2-year-old to Disneyland and ending up face-to-face with security is a bigger story about how age, size, and money intersect at the park gate. So parents of tall toddlers know the drill long before they show up in Anaheim or in Orlando. At home, strangers assume their 2-year-old is 4. School teachers double-check birth dates, and clothing sizes jump ahead by years. Well, that same disconnect also shows up at Disneyland's entrance, where kids under 3 do not need a ticket, but the only proof of age is whatever a frazzled parent can offer at the gate. In one online discussion, a grandmother described spending 10 days at the park with her grandson, who was 2, but quote unquote, also big, and said they were only asked his age one time after that. Other parents in the same conversation said they were having more and more of an issue. So here's another clip that was filmed at Disney's California Adventure, and it was shared widely online, captures Anaheim police arresting a mother in front of her children, with the onlookers reacting in shock. The footage from Disney California shows the kids clinging to her while officers lead her away, turning what might have been a quiet dispute over tickets into a full-blown spectacle. And as these videos spread, Anaheim officials filled in some of the blanks. Police described the woman as a 26-year-old mother from Torrance, California, a mother of 2 children, ages 3 and 4, and said she was trying to avoid paying for their admission. According to Anaheim Police, Sergeant Matt Suter, the woman was identified as a fare evader. So understand there's a terminology for this, fare evader. After the park staff raised concerns, and Matt Suter said security called Anaheim Police when the situation escalated at the gate. The mother, named Yesenia Diaz, in later coverage, has been accused of trying to pass the kids off as 2-year-olds so they could enter the park without tickets. Officials in Diaz's case say she attempted to use a reservation to enter the park and misrepresented the children's ages to avoid paying child prices. In another account of the same incident, the 2 young girls are seen holding on to their mother, crying and shouting, "Help me," in Spanish, as officers block her legs and lead her away, a detail that fueled outrage among the viewers who see the response as disproportionate to a ticket dispute. So now, stories like Diaz are part of the mental checklist for parents planning a Disneyland trip with a big 2-year-old. In that same Facebook thread about all toddlers, one parent described a friend who was threatened by security and told to buy a ticket because their 24-month-old looked older, prompting them to start carrying documentation. Others chimed in with strategies from keeping a photo of a birth certificate in a medical portal to bringing a passport just in case, arguing that's easier to pull up proof than risk a confrontation over ticket prices at the turnstiles. So understand that if you've got a big 2-year-old and you're trying to get in onto your, understand, might not be a bad idea to take some documentation, because apparently Disneyland, Disney World, and other theme parks are now cracking down on that sort of thing. We told you another story about the Big Arch Burger coming to the U.S. Now, apparently, it's coming very soon. They're saying this has 1,057 calories. It signals McDonald's interest in larger burgers that feel bold, filling, and worth the price. Definitely bold and filling. You can be certain of that. Okay. So now we get to Florida Man. And on a Florida Man Friday, it does bring to mind some disturbing things. For example, Bartow, not Barstow as in California, Bartow, which is in the Tampa area. And this involves a former police officer. But hey, he's a Florida man. A former Bartow police officer has been arrested for poisoning his girlfriend's dog because he didn't like the pet, according to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say that Edwin Campusano, 22 years of age, killed a 3-year-old Maltese poodle named Milo by adding poison pellets to the dog's food bowl while his girlfriend, Paula Fernandez, was on a trip. Fernandez says she received a call from her neighbor that Milo had been found dead inside the home. She said, "I'll never forget that call. I'll never forget that day. I just felt my heart drop, and it just didn't make sense because I made sure to say bye to him in the morning before our flight, and he was perfectly fine." The family had been gone for about a week, according to Fernandez. When they returned, they walked into an empty house, a heartbreaking scene. There was also blood by the floor of the door that they had to clean up because he had been vomiting. And then investigators dug in and honed in on a debit card purchase that showed that Campusano bought poison from Tractor Supply 2 days before the dog's death. So he was arrested for that. He had been a full-time law enforcement officer with the Bartow Police Department at the time of the incident, obviously no longer employed. That's unfortunately, and that happens to be a Florida man thing. All right, when we come back, we'll hear some more from Vic Schaefer as we go down the road of hour number 1 on 13 Under the Zone.
Coach Sark here. Stay connected to the Longhorns on the free iHeartRadio app.
Breaks a tackle 30, turns down the sidelines. Say goodnight to this one. Touchdown, Texas.
Just search 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em.
50 years in the Lone Star State. A one-stop shop so you're never late. Price is so low that you want to know
which way to Specs.
Come on, let's go.
Specs, wine, spirits, and finer foods. World-class service, that's all about you.
Shop Specs, it's how we do. A huge selection since 62. Shop Specs, low price, amazing. Here's to you. Cheers to savings.
Are you running for office and have a message you want every voter in your district to hear? Well, that's where radio comes in. Radio is your direct line to morning commuters, midday grinders, and late nighters. Radio puts your message right where your voters are. Plus, it's 1/10 the time and cost of video. Don't just campaign. Connect with millions all over the country, even thousands in the smallest communities with radio. Call now and be on air in just 48 hours. 844-844-iHeart. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Tonight, kick off the Winter Olympics in style with the opening ceremony from Italy.
Team USA, we are ready to roll.
Tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on NBC and Peacock.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Okay, get this. Now at Wendy's, you get to go biggie with new Biggie deals. That means going biggie with the $4 Biggie Bites, biggier with the $6 Biggie Bag, or biggiest with an $8 Biggie Bundle. So now you can choose and customize your Biggie deal. As you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More Biggie options so you can get more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or bird seed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Searching online for a car? When you call that dealership, your first question should be, are there any extra costs to the price on your website? At Henna Chevrolet, our answer will always be no. Their answer, you don't want to know. Shop surprise fee free with Henna, where the price you see is the price you get. Absolutely no addendums ever. You deserve honesty, and that's what we run on. Together, let's drive at henna.com.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've messed up your daughter's haircut. Do you A, get spiritual?
Mom, where's the mirror?
Beauty is within.
Oh.
B, find the positives.
Less time blow drying, more time texting?
Or C, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have to.
Twinsies.
I kind of love it. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Hook 'em horns.
Back to the Craig Way Show. Connect with Craig through the text line by texting ZONE to 81530, followed by your message. Standard message and data rates may apply. Okay. The one story that I didn't do because we were kind of up against the regular because we were unable to. There was a technical issue, unable to have Isaiah Stanback join us. So we got a little more time here on the back end. So first of all, I got one more Florida man story for you, Jake. And then we're going to go back and hear some real stuff. We'll hear from Vic Schaefer again. The headline, and I felt like it was important to bring another story after you read a story about a Florida man poisoning a pet, his girlfriend's dog, because he didn't like the dog. Probably the dog didn't like him. And he decided to rid himself of the dog. I'm glad they arrested him for that.
He didn't like thinking of any kind of better reason either.
Right.
Couldn't think of any accident.
Yeah.
No alibi.
No, just poison the dog. Okay. So that made me think, okay, let's get a better story. So here's the headline: Florida man fighting flesh-eating disease after Bahamas trip. Better, you say? This really happened. And this wasn't a Florida man being an idiot or cruel or anything like that. It's just a Florida family trying to make sure that their loved one stays alive after he contacted a flesh-eating disease while overseas in the Bahamas. He's 62 years of age. Brian Roush and his girlfriend went on a tropical vacation for New Year's to celebrate recently moving in together. But by January 4th, he was in the hospital and had suffered some kidney failure. He's had a little bit of heart damage, a number of secondary infections from just being in the hospital for a long time, said his girlfriend. He can't walk and he can't use most of his limbs right now. His daughter said that while he was in the Bahamas, he tripped, scraped his ankle, and later did just some typical activities there, like swimming, it says, with pigs down there. I guess that's a typical thing down there.
Oh, you don't want to do that with an open wound.
I guess not. But when he and his girlfriend got back to Fort Lauderdale, he became violently ill and unresponsive, rushed to the hospital. His ankle erupted into blisters right in front of him. So the doctor suspected flesh-eating bacteria, necrotizing fasciitis. We know about plantar fasciitis. Here's necrotizing, the flesh-eating stuff where your skin is just dying. And
that's a 15-yard face mask of flesh-eating bacteria.
They got him into emergency surgery to remove fluid. It's rare. Recent data shows it can be deadly, and up to 1 in 5 people have died from the infection, even with treatment. So right now he's trying to recover for that, but that's a serious thing there.
Geez, tough Florida man offerings today.
I'm telling you, it's difficult. So let's go back and hear from Vic Schaefer, Texas women's head coach. He was asked what Aaliyah Crump has done to impress him. Of course, she had 16 off the bench last night. What has she done lately in these past couple of ball games?
Yeah, I just don't think the kid gets rattled. I think she's like the other two that are up here. It's just no moment too big for her at a young age, which is unusual. Like, that's just not common. And I think the thing that, again, when I see her, she plays with an enormous amount of confidence. It's and she should. She's a hell of a player. Like, she should never question anything about her skill set. Like, the kid can play. And the thing is, I think being out there with Rory and Book or if Jordan's out there with her, I mean, it opens things up for everybody. It just makes it so much easier on everybody when you have multiple weapons out there on the perimeter. But just her presence, you know, she's humble. You know, she works hard. She's in the gym every day, but she watches these two. I mean, they're in the gym every day. They're there early or they come late, but stay late. But that's what she sees. And so the game's real fair. You get out of it what you put into it. And just like these other two, she puts a ton into it. And, you know, she's got that it factor. She's got that presence about her that it's not a lot of freshmen have that, you know.
That's true. And she does have a real calm nature about her to be as competitive as she is, you know, on the floor. She's got a pretty calm nature about her. And that's a good thing to hear that and to see that, because when you have a young player like that, you might not necessarily have those kinds of demeanor about it. They could, you know, possibly get rattled and be, you know, really be affected by what's going on. But she appears to handle it all very, very well, and that's a good sign when you can see that happening. In terms of what this victory meant for Texas, well, the Longhorns are still, and you'll hear this coming up in the 3:00 hour, my post-game conversation with Vic. That he says we're a half game out of first. They're actually not right now 2 full games out. They were a game and a half because they're 1 out in the loss column, but South Carolina won last night. So they're 9-1. Texas is 7-2. And remember, South Carolina has the tiebreak edge on Texas because they won the head-to-head matchup in Columbia by 3 points after Texas had beaten them out in Las Vegas in a game that doesn't count in the SEC standings. So South Carolina is at 9-1. Tennessee, after going overtime to beat Georgia, is 7-1 in the conference. And there's an imbalance in the number of games played for a variety of reasons here. One is because of the winter storms that went through. For example, the Texas-Arkansas game that was scheduled for a couple of weeks ago has been pushed back to February 19th as a result of that. That's why Texas has this unusual portion of the schedule where they're about to play their 3rd game in a row at home, and then they're going to play 3 in a row on the road. And it wasn't set up that way initially. It was set up for them to play 3 in a row at home because they played 4 out of 5 on the road. And they played, of course, last Sunday at home, defeated Oklahoma. They win last night over LSU. And so that's 2 top 10 wins in 5 days. Oklahoma's number 10 at the time. And then last night you had number 5. Their 3rd win over a top 5 team this year. They're 3-1 against top 5 opponents. The one loss, of course, the one in Columbia to South Carolina. But they're 3-1 in games against top 5 opponents. It's the first time for Texas women's basketball to have 3 wins over top 5 opponents, top 5 ranked opponents in the same season since the 86-87 season. Of course, they won the national championship 40 years ago, 1986. Coming off of that in the 86-87 campaign, they had 3 wins over top 5 ranked opponents. This is the first time since then that that's happened. So 39 seasons, really, when you go back and look at that. But still in all, technically, they're in 4th place in the conference standings right now because of the imbalance and inequity of games played. Part of it was because of the winter weather and the storms and the things that happened there. That was one thing. The other thing was the SEC largely plays, this is women's basketball I'm talking about. Men's basketball plays either Tuesday or Wednesday. You usually play either Tuesday or Wednesday, and then you play Saturday. The Longhorns, of course, play Tuesday this week. They play tomorrow against Ole Miss, and then Texas has its open date in the midweek part of the schedule next week. The Longhorn men, after playing tomorrow against Ole Miss, don't play again until the following Saturday when they go to Columbia, Missouri to take on the Missouri Tigers. The women's schedule is largely Thursdays and Sundays in conference play. But there are some Mondays, and all of the schools rotate on a Monday. It also should be noted that the conference is not playing any games on Super Bowl Sunday, or they are playing games on Super Bowl Sunday, but Texas is not playing on Super Bowl Sunday. So if you're a Texas women's basketball fan, but you're wanting to watch the Super Bowl, you don't have to choose between the two on Sunday because they're not playing on Sunday. Arkansas is playing at Florida. LSU is playing at Auburn. Tennessee is playing at South Carolina. Georgia is playing at Missouri. And Alabama is playing at Texas A&M. Monday, and this is what I was getting to, they rotate each school playing at least one time on a Monday this season. So Big Monday used to stand for men's basketball in the Big 12. Still does. Doesn't involve Texas anymore because they're not in the Big 12, but it's still the Big 12 winds up being ACC or Big East, and then it winds up being the Big 12. For the SEC, it's Tuesdays and Saturdays for the men, occasionally Wednesday or Saturday. They'll either play Tuesday or Wednesday. For the women, it's Thursday and Sunday with a few Mondays sprinkled in, and that includes this coming Monday for the Texas women. They'll host 16th ranked Kentucky at Moody Center. It's a 6:30 tip-off. 6:30 tip-off is that. So we'll be on the air at 6:15 on Monday. It'll be the third consecutive ranked opponent that they'll be taking on because Kentucky is number 16 in the country. So they played number 10 in the country, number 5 in the country. They'll have number 16 in the country coming up on Monday. And you'll hear Vic Schaefer say just got a little bit more rest out of that since there's one day extra. Also, a big game Monday night that'll follow the Texas Kentucky game. Oklahoma's playing at Vanderbilt. Oklahoma women have fallen to 5-4 in the league. The Vanderbilt women are 8-2, and Texas plays at. They've got a huge 2-game road swing in the Volunteer State next week. Thursday night, they play Vanderbilt in Nashville. Sunday, they play Tennessee in Knoxville. And then they have one more game on the road. That's the makeup of the Arkansas game that was originally scheduled back in January, but of course got iced out. So there will actually be 3 consecutive road games for Texas, preceded by 3 consecutive home games. And that's of the 3 games comes up on Monday night when they play Kentucky. All right. Coming up next hour, more on the Super Bowl, and we'll also shift some attention to Longhorn men's basketball. We have Longhorn Weekly with Sean Miller coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to give you a little sneak preview, some comments from Coach Miller. And it gets into the best way to strike the balance with what you're doing to make your offense really effective. And he talks about that coming up. We'll do that coming up here in the next hour. So a lot more in store. Stay with us. We'll have hour number 2 of 3 coming up. Also, we'll give away some tickets to tomorrow's Texas Ole Miss game as well. That's coming up in the second hour as well. Stay with us. Hour number 2 of 3 hours on this Friday, right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
It's the morning kickoff.
We're driving around, and Harge goes, man, that looks like CDC. And we stopped, and hey, we had a moment.
I snuck away to take the OUAD to a secret breakfast place. There's going to be no one there, and there's you 2 yardbirds blaring the horn, going by, and I'm like, oh, hell no. And then he goes, oh, I thought this was a secret spot. I go, not really.
Not now.
Not anymore.
Weekdays at 7.
Spice up the big game with a hot box from Dave's Hot Chicken.
Score major deals on top brands at Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Find your dream mattress today. Their sleep experts are highly trained to find the right one to fit your unique needs. They make sleep easy.
The biggest night in football is almost here. On Kalshi, you can now legally trade game day props, like will a quarterback win MVP? Yes, it's trading at 27%, meaning a $100 trade pays out $371 if it hits. And Kalshi isn't betting. It's a live market where you can trade against other people, buying in and out as prices move. Download the Kalshi app, use the code PODCAST to get $20 when you trade 100. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
iHeartRadio and NBC Sports bring you Two Guys, Five Rings.
Two Guys, Five Rings.
Wow.
We're your hosts.
I'm Matt Rogers.
I'm Bowen Yang.
One essential podcast for the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy.
Milan Cortina. They're actually making the huge mistake of sending us there.
The most expansive Winter Olympics ever.
Follow Two Guys, Five Rings and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Listen to the Two Guys, Five Rings podcast on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart.
Sports lives on the iHeartRadio app, the home of the Super Bowl 60 tailgate concert presented by NetApp. Big game coverage, the Winter Olympics from Milan, NBC's official audio partner, Fox Sports Radio, ESPN, and sports betting. Search sports on the free iHeartRadio app and listen now.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
From the Audio-Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KBET AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Second hour of the program here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Second hour of me telling you I'm not dead. And if you haven't seen the hoax, that's good. I'm glad. For those of you who are saying, "What? What's going on?" Someone or something, or someone in conjunction with something, depending on how AI generated stuff works, posted a picture. It's the photo of me from I'll call the article that was done about a year and a half ago, and there's photos in there, and there's one with my eyes wide open, my arms are outstretched. Maybe it's pretty funny that they selected that particular photo to state their case that I had passed away in a tragic accident. Didn't say what kind of accident. I mean, I could have been lined up against a tree, with my grandkids throwing steak knives at me or something. I don't know. But anyway,
how do you think of that?
I don't know. When you have grandkids, anything's possible, right? But on whatever site that loyal Longhorns fans is, and it's an invitation to follow, I would recommend that you do not. There's this photo of me, and it says the Longhorn family is heartbroken over the sudden loss of a legendary voice in a broadcasting booth following an unfortunate accident. I mean, is it flesh-eating bacteria? I mean, you know what? Anyway, so it says our thoughts with their loved ones and the entire 40 Acres community during this difficult time. And it says full details. Don't click the full details. I'm not dead. But in other words, on the photo, it says RIP 1960 to 2026. His decades of dedication, coupled with the tragic circumstances of his passing, and brought tears to the eyes of Longhorn Nation as they come together to honor the voice that echoed through the 40 acres.
We got some funny texts on the text line about this.
Oh, really? Let's hear them.
Well, somebody said, "You humans are so nice and alive."
Okay.
CPOW, our condolences, Craig. God bless.
Yeah.
Then we've got people on the Texas coast have gotten that bacteria, an open wound, stagnant water. That's CPOW also with that information.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. So and then I had to try to diffuse it as quickly as possible, both on my own personal Facebook page and through Twitter. And I said the reports of my demise appear to be
blessed.
Allergy season. Anyway, the reports of my demise appear to be a little exaggerated. It must be an AI-generated hack. I'm very much alive and not dead. So there were a lot of humorous comments on that.
Alive!
Yeah.
It's alive! It's alive!
Man. Gene Wilder no longer is with us there, but yeah, I'm still very much alive. Anyway, so a lot of people are saying, why, who would do this? Why would they do this? And BS and all that. And and other people saying nice things and expressing relief, and I'm glad for that. And then you have some other folks that say, I listened to some of your calls last night. They gave the LSU game, so they wondered about that. Somebody else said it's the second broadcaster in this one guy's circle to be part of, he says, this AI slop this week. Another guy says, I was about to say goodnight to this one, but then realized it's a hoax.
Oh, no.
I like that.
That's nicely done.
Like that.
Somebody said, Nash comments on your tweet, you've made it big when people post fake death memorial posts.
Yeah. Then somebody else said, I said to myself, no way, pun intended. Somebody said, sorry to learn of your fake passing. When's the fake funeral? Somebody said, can I mark you safe? Yes, you can.
Mark safe from AI slop.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, if you come across that, if somebody says, hey, did you hear? I'm fine.
And don't click the link.
Don't click the link, because who knows what it
Practice smart clicking, everybody.
Yeah, who knows where that might lead you. So
we don't want people to do their own investigations.
Right. All right. Let's roll it back to the Super Bowl and hear from the particulars who read it. Drake May, Patriots quarterback, was asked, this is the other day I was talking about how there's all kinds of dumb questions asked at the Super Bowl media day. When you get later in the week, Thursday and then Friday, the last Super Bowl media session, you're asked, it's much more regular football related questions. That said, this is a question that is always asked during a Super Bowl week, a national championship week, because you're down to 2 teams. So the question for him was there a game where he, Drake May, realized that this particular team had a chance to be this special to get all the way to the final game?
I think it's hard to maybe pinpoint one exact point. I know probably the win on the road at Buffalo was huge for us. I think just finding a way to win that game against a tough opponent, on the road, a team that's been, historically, great in playoffs. Had a playoff. I mean, I had a home game, I think win streak and be able to win there. But really, other than that, I think just the continued success on the road has been huge for us. Continued success on the road and trying to find a way to do it one more time here.
Meanwhile, Sam Darnold, the Seahawks quarterback, was asked about the changes that he's made on past teams that helped him develop as a quarterback and how it's helped him get to the next level.
Yeah, I think just learning from experiences, learning from those times in New York and Carolina, and then when I went to San Francisco, like being able to learn a ton from Kyle and the coaches that were there, Clint being one of them, all the players that were there, all the great players that are there still in San Francisco, just learning about their habits and learning from Brock as much as I could. So, it's basically, the short of that would be I've just learned a ton throughout my career, and every single year I do what I can to make sure that I don't get ahead of myself and I take it one day at a time, because I feel like that mindset, has proved successful for me in every aspect of life, whether it was growing up, high school, college, and now here, on the biggest stage. I'm just continuing with that mindset.
Okay. All right. There's some good stuff for them there. Kendall Weaver will be on the floor for the Longhorns, and he has been big of late. You're going to hear coming up in the next segment Sean Miller talking about how important he's been in some of the things he's done. He's also getting better at shooting 3-pointers. I mean, he was in the teens in terms of percentage last year, and even at the start of this year. It's in the 30-something percentile now. Knocked down a big 3 the other night in the win over South Carolina. So he was asked, what is behind his improved 3-point shooting?
It's really just my teammates and coach giving me confidence, getting live reps in practice, then putting the work in every day after practice, and then my teammates getting downhill, being able to kick out to me wide open threes, and I got to be able to make them.
All right. So, but the number one thing he's out there for is his defense, because he guards very, very well, and he rebounds, as we know, very well. So he's got to go up against some of these outstanding guards, and he did a pretty credible job on Meechie Johnson. Johnson was taking advantage when Kendall wasn't on the floor to wind up with some of his 35 points. And Weaver quite often is in sequences asked to guard the best perimeter player to get out there on it. So what does it take to guard these types of players?
Really, you got to bring it. SEC has tons of good guards on every team, multiple. So just going out every night, having that defensive mindset that you got to get stops to be able to win in the SEC.
Now, if you remember the game last Saturday in Norman, he goes to get a loose ball, running it down. He's falling out of bounds, but he calls timeout beforehand, and the timeout was granted. Is this something that he plans in advance? Is it instinctual? How does it come to him in the moment?
No, that's my first time doing it in a game, but I've actually practiced it in practice before. When the balls are going out of bounds, I maybe call timeout in my head before I try to save it. So when the opportunity presented itself, I just felt like I should do it.
All right. The other opportunity there for the Longhorns to win 3 consecutive SEC games, which they haven't done this season, and to get above 500 in conference play, which they haven't done this season. They started 0-2. They got to 2-2, fell to 2-4. Then it was 3-5. Now they won back-to-back games to get to 5-5. A win tomorrow over Ole Miss would get them above 500 in conference play for the first time this season. That would be significant because of the amount of games left that folks would look at. It'll be much more difficult to win as opposed to the ones that you can win, and you want to try to get as close to, if not above, the 500 mark in conference play as possible. So what would it mean to him to pick up 3 SEC wins consecutively?
It would mean a lot. I've never done that in my career, win 3 conference games in a row. So this will be the first time if we can get it done on Saturday. And then I feel like we have a good push, a good motivator to finish the rest of the conference out.
Now, remember, they will be off in the midweek. They have their midweek bye next week. So after tomorrow, their next game would be a week from tomorrow an evening contest in Columbia, Missouri against the Missouri Tigers. So that's where it is with this team. But we're going to hear some science behind the offense and the philosophical structure employed by Sean Miller. That's up next, and we've got some other topics we'll get to. We'll also tell you coming up how you can win a pair of tickets from us right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Hey guys, BK here from the Bucky and BK Show. We hope you'll join us every weekday afternoon on your drive home from 5 to 7. So excited to be a part of the Zone team. Can't wait to bring you all the best in sports and conversation every day from 5 to 7 on 1300 The Zone and the free iHeartRadio app.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Dollar. That's dollar. Enter it now.
AM 1300 The Zone.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know that feeling when you're watching a game and you feel like you already know the script? You can now turn that ball knowledge into real money on Better, and they pay you better for being right more than any other fantasy app out there. LeBron over 30 points, Mahomes under 250 yards. Just pick more or less on your favorite player's stats. Someone turned $100 into $200,000 and another hit $100K on just 4 picks. And Better has paid out over $250 million in winnings. Download Better Picks and turn your sports instincts into real money. Sports just got better with Better. Must be 21 or older in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet a successful local CEO right here each week on iHeartRadio's CEOs You Should Know. This week, it's Nuno Fernandez, president of American Public University System. Listen this weekend or visit am1300thezone.com/CEOs.
When you need it, now it's here. A dedicated express connection between Austin and Cedar Park with the opening of the northbound 183 express lanes and newly added direct connection to the 183 express lanes from the Mopac Express lane. With limited entrances and exits, these lanes are designed for a reliable, uninterrupted drive. Slow down and watch for new entrance and exit opportunities. See how it all works at 183north.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-403-5566. That's 800-403-5566. 800-403-5566.
iHeart is America's #1 podcast network. Open the free iHeart app and explore podcasts like this.
When 60 Minutes premiered in September 1968, there was nothing like it.
We realize, of course, that new approaches are not always instantly accepted.
I'm Seth Doan of CBS News, and I'm excited to introduce a new podcast from 60 Minutes called A Second Look. The team at 60 Minutes has spent the last year digging through thousands of tapes, transcripts, and reels of film, and you're about to hear some of the sound that was never broadcast, like 21-year-old Taylor Swift imagining her future success.
Sometimes I get really overwhelmed when I think about, 10 years from now, I'll be 30. What's the sound then? What are the choices I've made at that point? Oh my God, what does my life look like?
Then there are the people you may not recognize by name, but who witnessed some of the most important events in modern history. Along the way, I'll speak with some of the legendary correspondents who reported the stories, as well as those whose lives were altered after sitting down with 60. Together, we'll hear how much our world has changed.
You're working in borrowed time. You're not just saying that to scare us.
And how it hasn't.
You were either for the books or against the books. And it was almost like a civil war.
You can really draw a bright red line from 74 to 2024.
It's time for a second look.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
If it's Texas sports, Craig Way knows all. Back to the Craig Way Show on 1300 The Zone. Welcome back to the Craig Way Show and the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Follow Craig on social media at Horn Voice.
You never give me your money. You only give me your funny paper. And in the middle of negotiations, you break down. I never give you my number. I only give you my situation. And in the middle of investigation, I break down.
Out of college, money spent, see no future, see no rent. All the money's gone, nowhere to go.
I am in no way comparing myself to Paul McCartney, but there was a death hoax out there, you know.
I had nightmares about that as a kid.
Oh,
Listen
really?
to that Visualization 10,
Yeah.
Paul McCartney podcast that puts together all the pieces.
Yeah, right.
Playing Revolution 9 backwards and the end of
All that
Strawberry
weird
Fields
stuff, yeah.
Forever.
Well, and I Am the Walrus. You know, that Paul is dead theory, or that rumor thing went out there, and it was only exacerbated by the cover of the Abbey Road album, from which this song is part of that fabulous medley on the B-side, the flip side of the Abbey Road album, where you have, they're walking across the road there at Abbey Road. John Lennon is in a white suit. He's viewed as being the minister. Then you have Paul, who's barefoot. The reason he's barefoot is, and I read this in bio, he didn't like the shoes he was in or something like that. It was the deal. So he's walking across the street barefoot, but immediately the conspiracy theory is that he's the corpse because you're burying him, bare feet.
And in a suit.
Yeah.
And holding a cigarette.
That's right. Then you have Ringo behind him, who's in a suit. He's viewed as being the mourner. And George Harrison, who's just like in denim, he's the gravedigger. So it's amazing the stuff people can come. Listen, but they can come up with me being dead at the, without batting an eye. It's no trouble. You had to go a ways to come up with that. But that was pretty impressive for them on that. Mine, not so much. So glad to say I'm alive. And thanks to those who had questions and or concerns. The Longhorns are trying to stay very much alive for the NCAA basketball tournament. They have won back-to-back games, and now they try to make it 3 in a row, get above the 500 mark. Tonight is Longhorn Weekly at 7 o'clock with head coach Sean Miller. And Sean and I were talking about a variety of things. You'll hear the program in its entirety tonight at 7 o'clock on the Sun, but here's a little preview of part of it. When we get into talking about offensive efficiency and the importance of it and how his own philosophy may have changed a bit. I wanted to get into some numbers here that were a little bit fascinating as I put on my reading glasses here, because I want to get your thoughts and give folks some insight into offensive efficiency. Through the South Carolina game on Tuesday night, for folks who don't know this, The Longhorns rank 7th in the nation, 7th nationally in KenPom. It's Ken Pomeroy, which is really a good matrix breakdown of offensive and defensive numbers. But the team ranks 7th nationally in KenPom in offensive efficiency. So first, I wanted to give you a chance to talk about offensive efficiency and what goes into that rating, and then really from a big picture perspective overall, to give folks a little bit of an insight as to what that's all about.
Yeah, Ken Pomeroy, and he's a real person who lives in Utah, and I've known him really since the onset of him creating this analytical database that tracks college basketball. But so we're crystal clear. People can say this or that, whatever, but if you look at the last 10 NCAA tournament fields, the at-large fields, if you stopped real time, like on the day that the field is chosen, and you go, who are the top 40, top 30 teams in KenPom, I'd say it's about 95%.
Wow.
Yeah, 95%.
And even though the NCAA says they don't use it in terms of its own metrics for the tournament selection, it's kind of like with college football with Pro Football Focus. There are some really stark numbers that indicate the best teams in the country,
Right.
and I would imagine it's the same thing here.
Same thing. And they're not going to pick the field by looking at KenPom, but what I would tell you is it's eerily accurate, and I think that's a tremendous compliment to that site. So if you're America's 10th best defensive team in December, that's fine, but you can only go on the games that not only you have played, but everybody has played, and that also takes into consideration the competition that you're playing against. So it can only be so accurate, though, because you only have 8 games or 10 games of data. When you get into February and everybody in the country has played 20 games, and now you're playing against your level of competition. So let's use a mid-major team. Regardless of how many points they score, KenPom takes into consideration who they're scoring against. If you're at Alabama and you're guarding Alabama and you have a great defensive showing, KenPom takes into consideration you're playing against America's first, second, third best offense, right?
It's different than, say, guarding players from Maryland Eastern Shore at home.
That's right. And when you do that against Maryland Eastern Shore at home, then the deficit, what you should be able to do in terms of getting stops, if you're going to evaluate defense, you should have a great night. For example, if we use them as that example. I only say that because I really believe in it. When you get into February, I think it's a great compass and barometer for your own team. What do you do well? What are you not doing well? What are the things that we can fix, and how do we go about that process? Because it's another way too, Craig, of not getting too caught up in like, we lost, we won. That's difficult. We all know what that means. But did you play well? Did you win only because of your offense? Did your defense completely let you down? There are times when we win or lose a game. Let's take that out of the equation. We may drop 5, 6, 7 spots, which is a lot on the defensive efficiency. And what that tells you, man, you just had a bad night. I mean, you have to be better. There are times when we've lost, and you look after the game and you're like, we actually went up 3 spots. And what that tells you is you did some good things. See it for what it is. And I think that's a great compass for all of us to how do you keep getting better in February? You know how you say, like, you want to get better as the year goes on. Some teams do, some teams don't. I think the one common theme with those that, in fact, do keep getting better, they're really seeing things in a real accurate way of are you performing well on defense, on offense, regardless of the score? Well, what is it that we have to fix? And that's why, for me, I always come back to fouling.
Yep.
I mean, if I said
you mentioned it a time or two lately.
So because it hasn't improved enough. Now it is starting to. The other night we did a really good job against South Carolina defending the 3-point shot. That's another second thing that we can control. How does Texas take off and play well down the stretch? They fouled less, and he did a much better job defending the 3-point line. If those two things hold true, we're a better team. How do we know that? Because we have 24 games of analysis and understanding that we've not done that well by the national standard, and especially in our league. But as you move towards offense efficiency, yes, we've become a very efficient offensive team, both in the SEC and also across the country.
If we're being real here on the big picture perspective, in your 21 seasons as a collegiate head coach, it hasn't always been your thought process when it comes to offense. So have you evolved in the way that you look at it, not only from what Ken Palm does, but in your philosophy overall, and what you're looking for on the offensive side of the ball as a result?
I think so. I mean, like all of us, when you're no different. Who you would have been a decade ago or 20 years ago, you're more advanced. You have so many more experiences. I think you get better as time moves on. But I would also tell you, in college basketball, the game has changed quite a bit. I mean, there's just a lot more ball movement. There's a lot more three-point shooting. There's more skill on the floor. The officiating, the rules that govern the game have changed. You know, remember a few years ago, the team who took the most charges was a great defensive team, Duke, for example, right? And the block charge deal changed a lot offensively. Now they don't, and it's what they're instructed to do. They do not call charges. Every once in a while, one of these officials does. Why, I don't know, because I'm being told that that's not a thing. However, when you eliminate that this year, if you get fouled on a drive and you pick the ball up after the foul and continue to shoot, they get you to the free throw line. So guys are driving with purpose to get fouled and get to the foul line. So it's more difficult on the defense right now than ever before. More skill, more three-point shooting on the court. The game, as it's officiated, favors the offense. And I think all of us as coaches try to evolve and adapt.
That's a little sneak preview of the program tonight. There's a lot more on that. Also, we'll visit with assistant coach Eric Malagy. And in addition to that, his thoughts on how his bench play has been so much better of late. And that's a big part of why they've been able to turn it around. And they're going to have to deal with talented guards. Now, it's not quite on the level of what they had to deal with before. But they have a guy coming off the bench, Ole Miss does, and A.J. Storr, who actually started off at Kansas. He transferred in. And Storr is the Rebels' leading scorer. He comes off the bench, and he averages 14 points per game. And then they have Malik Diab. We've seen him and saw he had started off his collegiate career at Belmont, but we saw him last year. There's other guys that can make a difference for them, but Texas will have to be strong inside without getting into foul difficulty. If Modest Focatitis, this game could set up well for him if he can stay away from foul difficulty. That would be important.
Forecast calls for free throws in this game, Craig.
Well, it could be.
Both teams.
Yeah, it could be.
Both teams bottom 50 in foul rate, worst 2 in foul rate in the SEC.
That's why you heard Sean Miller just say that. Another thing I talk about, fouling. And they were on the plus side of it. South Carolina committed far more fouls the other night than Texas did, and the Longhorns got more free throws as a result of that. But they're going to have to be cognizant and aware of that. Elias Camerdine is another guy that they're going to have to understand and have to deal with as well in the backcourt. So those are some things. But the Longhorns have a good shot. And you have a good shot to win tickets. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our talkback feature. We are able to use the talkback feature today, right? I know we've had a few technical issues, but the talkback feature is working. Okay. So we're going to use the talkback feature. And what that is for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it starts off with having the iHeartRadio app downloaded on your smartphone. Very simple, on your iPhone or Android, whatever. If you don't already have it, you can download it. It's free. That's the most important part. It's also easy, which is an important part. So you just download the free iHeartRadio app. You'd be surprised at the number of people, Jake, when I talk about downloading something. If you just, the words download it onto your phone or download the app just kind of gives them the woolies, you know? It's like something's going to happen to my phone if I do it, or I'm going to be sucked into some nether region, or it's going to mess up my phone as a result of that.
That's how QR codes got invented. People just see, oh, okay, it's right there.
Yep. But this is easy. You download the iHeartRadio app. And then after you download the iHeartRadio app, you just do a search for AM 1300 The Zone. It's very simple. You search for AM 1300 The Zone. It'll pop right up. So use the little magnifying glass or your search window, whatever it might be. So download the iHeartRadio app if you haven't already. Then search AM 1300 The Zone. It'll pop up, and then there's a little red button with a white microphone right in the middle of it. And that is the TalkBack feature. That's the TalkBack microphone. So you press that button, and then you can leave us a message up to 30 seconds.
Somebody left us one a few minutes ago.
Really?
Want to hear it?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Craig, you never give me my number. Nice song. Way to go, Beatles. Love that song.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
That's Richard.
Thank you, Richard. I do as well. People know me as being, a lover of Beatles music. And I'm reading a book right now on, it's kind of the science behind and the emotion behind and the ideas behind John Lennon and Paul McCartney, how they work together as songwriters and what would come up when they would just sit there and look at each other and play stuff, and then ideas would come about. It's really good. But anyway, thank you. But that's what we mean by the iHeartRadio app and downloading AM 13, the iHeartRadio app. You do the search for AM 1300 Zone, then you hit that TalkBack microphone. It's a little red button with a white microphone. So we just make it easy for you. If you can name any of the schools where Chris Beard coached before Texas, not including Texas Tech, that's a slam dunk. He coached at a lot of places. So if you can name me any one of the colleges where Chris Beard coached, and if you can do that, you'll win a pair of tickets. The first 3 correct answers. So again, if you haven't already, download the iHeartRadio app. Then you do a search for AM 1300 The Zone. Then when it comes up, you'll see the little red button with the white microphone. You tap that button, and you leave us a message up to 30 seconds. Any of the colleges where Chris Beard coached as a head coach, not as an assistant, as a head coach, other than Texas Tech, since that's where he was before he came to Texas. So any of the colleges before Texas Tech would be the proper way to phrase that, where he coached.
Think back to your brackets.
Yeah, there you go. First 3 correct responses on the on our TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app will win a pair of tickets to tomorrow's game between Texas and Ole Miss. We got some other things coming up. We'll get to that next here on 1300 The Zone.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TODAY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TODAY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TODAY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You'll use the radio in your car more than anything else. When buying a new car, make sure the AM/FM is simple, clear, and convenient.
For over 30 years, CertaPro Painters has been part of countless memories. Every wall tells a story, and we've been proud to help write them. We are more than just your local painters, with care, craftsmanship, and certainty. From the first brushstroke to the final smile, our promise is simple. Your home beautifully painted and worry-free. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Bones. You think you know what's going to happen during the big game? Call it with DraftKings Predictions, a new app where you can predict outcomes on football's biggest game. Make real money predictions on the big game and put your money where your knowledge is. Pick a topic, make a prediction. Like, what will the total score be? Will the underdog cover? Which team will be lifting the trophy at the end? Then see if your big game smarts pay off. DraftKings Predictions is new and simple to use with big game trading. Available here in Texas.
Download now. New DraftKings predictions customers get up to a $75 first trade bonus with promo code AM1300. Don't just feel it, predict it with DraftKings predictions. The crown is yours. DraftKings Predictions is a CFTC registered introducing broker. Event contract trading involves substantial risk of loss. One per new customer. Opt-in required. Non-withdrawable predictions dollars expire in 1 year. Ends February 8th, 2026. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at dkng.co/predictions promo.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
AM 1300 The Zone occasionally holds contests. For more information about contests on this station, go to am1300thezone.com/rules.
This month, iHeartRadio is celebrating the stars of the 2026 Winter Games. Kewaskum, Wisconsin's own Jordan Stoltz is moving faster than anyone else on Earth. The young phenom has taken the speed skating world by storm, shattering records and dominating world championships across multiple distances. His rare combination of explosive start speed and endurance makes him a threat every time he laces up. Stoltz hits the Olympic Oval in Milano Cortina not just to win, but to chase world records. For more Winter Games gold, search Olympics on the iHeartRadio app.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
It's the Morning Kickoff Show with Mike Hardball Harge and Mark Henry. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Was quizzical, studied metaphysical science in the home. Late nights all alone with a test tube. Maxwell Edison, majoring in medicine, calls her on the phone. Can I take you out to the pictures, Joan?
And we're back to the Craig Way Show. Have a message for Craig? Share it by using the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app.
Maxwell Silverhammer came down on her head. Bang, bang, Maxwell Silverhammer made sure that she was dead.
I guess dead is the operative word here. Again, you know, that Paul McCartney is dead hoax that went out there in the late 60s. I mean, and then it was kind of played up a little bit by the Beatles during that Abbey Road, including this song, Maxwell Silverhammer, which is near and dear to my heart because it's played whenever Max Muncy of the Dodgers draws a walk.
On the organ or just?
On the organ.
That's nice.
The organ. Yeah, the organist. What is his name? He's got an interesting name. He's the Dodgers organist. Anyway, he plays it whenever. And Maxwell, by the way, Max Muncy, has a gray, kind of almost silver-colored bat. So when he gets a home run, if Tim Nevertte's calling the play-by-play, he says Max Muncy swinging Maxwell's silver hammer or something when he drives it out of the ballpark. We're just around the corner from spring training coming soon. Anyway, we've got winners. Do we have winners? We have winners, right?
We have winners.
I said the first three correct responses to this question would win a pair of tickets to tomorrow's Texas Ole Miss game. And the question was, prior to his arrival at Texas, we know that Chris Beard coached at Texas Tech. What I wanted was for you to name any of the prior places where Chris Beard coached, because there were numerous. Any. So here's response number one.
Hey, Craig, it's John in the Bay. Coach Beard coached at Angelo State roughly 11 years ago. He recruited one of our players at a junior college here in the Bay Area. Hope all is well.
Yeah, John in the Bay is a friend of it. John, you're out in the Bay, so you can't make the game tomorrow. Is that right? I'll tell you what, John in the Bay is usually checking in from the Bay, from San Francisco. So, John, if you're not in town and not using the tickets, we've got a first runner-up out of the other three. But here's the second correct answer. That was correct, by the way. Angelo State was one of the places, a place where my oldest son graduated college. Here's number two.
Okay, the San Angelo State said we can't use Texas Tech. I think San Angelo State's a good one to go. My name's Dan the Man. I think I got it right. Let me know, Craig Way.
Yeah, Dan the Man, or Dan the Sandman, I should say. Technically right, close enough. It's just Angelo State. There's no, it is in San Angelo, but the name of the school is Angelo State University. But yes, you're on the right track on that one. So you get one. And then we had this winner.
Hey, Craig, Fort Scott Community College. Richard.
That's it. Fort Scott Community College, which is in far eastern Kansas. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And Chris Beard coached at Fort Scott Community College in Kansas.
Guessing he won a lot of games there.
He did. And he used to tell a story when he was coaching at Texas. He told the story about, climbing the ladder when people asked him about, as a coach. Because other places that he coached included Little Rock, obviously, right before that got him to Texas. He actually went to UNLV for a month, and Chris Ogden was on his coaching staff. He went from Little Rock to UNLV, and he was there for a month, and then the Texas Tech job came open, and he went for there. We would have accepted UNLV, because he was the head coach there. Did not actually coach in a game, but was the head coach there. He also coached a minor league team in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And much was made out of the point that for a brief time he slept in his car out at the beach. He told me that was exaggerated. It happened once or twice when he was moving and didn't have had to be there early the next morning. And since he wasn't making a lot of money, there was no use in getting a hotel room, because Myrtle Beach can be pretty expensive to get a hotel room there. And the mover's going to be there early the next morning. So he said that part was exaggerated. But with the Fort Scott Community College thing, he told me about that, when you're going up the ladder and you remember what you're going through, and the bus, they'd have one of those, it wasn't a full-length bus. It was one of those kind of shuttle bus things like you see at the airport or whatever. It has the team on one of those, a little bit longer than that. At Midland College, they used to have one called the People Mover bus. So anyway, one bus like that carries JUCO basketball teams. And a big thing for them was, after a win, getting to go through McDonald's through the drive-through and get more than one entree item. If they won, you could get like a Big Mac and a fish sandwich, or a quarter pounder and a chicken sandwich. If they lost, probably only got one.
Dollar menu burger.
Yeah.
No big arches for anybody.
Right. So anyway, I remember that from him talking about his days at Fort Scott Community College.
We got a comment on that too from John in the Bay. He said, At Fort Scott, they used to play in a rodeo arena. Half court, half rodeo arena.
That's exactly right. He said that. So, John, are you in the Bay right now?
Well, he said, yes, guys, you can give my ticks away. So
Okay.
that's good news for our runner-up.
Here's the runner-up who was next in line.
Hey, Chris Beard coached at Arkansas Little Rock. This is John. My number is
we won't air his phone number.
Yeah,
Different
right.
John.
Yeah, okay, different John. Okay. But so 3 of the places where he coached were I'm very proud of you folks. You knew it. you knew that he had coached at Fort Scott Community College and Angelo State and Little Rock. Like I said, he was at UNLV for a cup of coffee, really just in the spring. He was there, I think he told me, or Chris Ogden, who was on his staff, told me he was there 28 days, I think. Something like that before the Texas Tech job came open. So anyway.
It wasn't that long ago he was here. People don't forget.
No, there's a lot about his time here that people don't forget.
That's right.
There's a lot about his time here that people don't forget. We'll be back to wrap up hour number 2 on 1300 The Zone.
iHeartRadio.
Olympics update.
The Winter Olympics opening ceremony is today in Milan. Team USA's Lindsey Vonn is competing in alpine skiing and the women's downhill despite a serious knee injury.
Coming back in, I feel free and I don't have any pressure. I've already accomplished everything I ever set out to do, so this is just the cherry on top.
Team USA ski moguls team hits the slopes next week. America hasn't won gold in the event since 2010 in Vancouver.
For NBC's live coverage from Italy, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
You know that feeling when you're watching the game and you feel like you already know the script? You can now turn that ball knowledge into real money on Better, and they pay you better for being right more than any other fantasy app out there. LeBron over 30 points, Mahomes under 250 yards. Just pick more or less on your favorite player's stats. Someone turned $100 into $200,000 and another hit $100K on just 4 picks. And Better has paid out over $250 million in winnings. Download Better Picks and turn your sports instincts into real money. Sports just got better with Better. Must be 21 or older in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Boot Barn, we know you need a reliable work boot. A boot that has withstood the test of time. When you feed, build, and fuel the nation, you can't take chances because you wake before the sun rises and end the day after it sets. Dating back to 1892, Thorogood takes pride in building high-quality work boots designed for hardworking people because reliability comes first. Thorogood at Boot Barn Work.
For delicious meals, you could go out to eat or spend hours in the kitchen. Or you could just make a Marie Callender's meal. Yeah, you heard me. Marie Callender's classic chicken parmigiana bowl is delicious with scratch-made marinara sauce, creamy mozzarella cheese, and no preservatives. It's high in protein with 30 grams per serving. Marie Callender's, what having it all tastes like.
This isn't just race day. It's one big Texas-sized weekend. Big-time action on the track and big memories with your crew. February 27th through March 1st. Get tickets at NASCAR@COTA.com.
Hosting game day but fumbling the shopping list? Good news. Specs has the perfect play. Ice-cold beer in the backfield. Bold bourbon out wide, and savory snacks going deep. No need for a Hail Mary. Bex has you covered with a legendary selection and prices so low, your wallet will do the end zone dance. So before kickoff, Be the MVP. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating.
Keep celebrating when you bundle and save with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Texas Longhorns.
All right, here on the back side of this 3 o'clock hour. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I guess I feel okay. You know, the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals is Mike LaFleur, former Rams offensive coordinator. Now, let me also tell you this. Mike LaFleur was the Rams offensive coordinator, but Sean McVay was calling the offense. It's plain and simple. He was calling the offense off of that. Well, nevertheless, Mike LaFleur's left, and the Rams have his replacement. Did you see who it is?
I did just before the show.
Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury. He's joining the coaching staff as the offense. And, of course, he'd been the offensive coordinator for your Washington Commanders. How do you feel about that?
This is interesting because I don't know how much of the Commanders' regression on offense can be pinned on Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
But it certainly wasn't good this season. Wasn't good. Every part of it took a step back. And even though Sam Cosmi was on the mend throughout the season and Josh Connerly was a rookie at right tackle, you know, the offensive line was healthy. I know losing Jaden Daniels really hurts. And I know the running back play wasn't great after Austin Eckler went down. Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt's okay back there. But it was a step back. And I think the Commanders promoting David Blau, promoting from within after parting ways with Cliff Kingsbury, that was the first red flag, that his maybe sentiment around the league wasn't as high as some people on the outside looking in thought it was. Red flag number 2 is him taking this job. Because he's not going to be calling the plays. He's called plays for 6-7 years in a row.
It'd be interesting if that was part of a concession that Sean McVay made, was to give him play calling duties.
There's no way he gave up play calling, did he?
I wouldn't think that he would. It's not in the story that I've read. You know where Cliff Kingsbury's from?
Remind me.
New Braunfels. In fact, I did one of his playoff games, saw him just play. He did some magician-like stuff. They had a great Cinderella run, New Braunfels did, and went all the way to the state semifinals that year. And he was in the state's largest classification. And he was the reason why. He did some Houdini-like things in some of the games. There was a triple overtime game I called when they played San Antonio MacArthur, and he was amazing. And he got, I don't know if somebody gave him a tape of the game, but he heard it. And after that, for a long time, he was like best buds with me. He always said he felt indebted to me. And when he was the head coach at Texas Tech, he would always do a pregame interview with me. And he said he normally wouldn't do it with the other people. He said, because you and I go way back. He goes, I know where you're coming from on that. So he was always good to me. I guess he said that I was good. I was just calling it as I saw it. He was amazing. A couple of playoff games that he played in. And he's I lost some faith in Pro Football Focus when he was the head coach of the Cardinals. When Pro Football Focus said he was a better head coach than Sean McVay. I was like, no, he's not. He's a really good offensive mind. Maybe it adds to McVay's heart.
McVay will continue to call plays.
Okay, all right. And let me tell you, they need help on defense, especially in the second. That's the plan. Congratulations, Matthew Stafford got the MVP last night. Near both. Well deserved. Yeah. One more hour to come here on 1300.
Need a reason to call Thomas J. Henry Law after a car accident? How about $1 billion? Because Thomas J. Henry Law fights even when the insurance company says your claim is worth nothing. Thomas J. Henry doesn't back down. That's how we put over $1 billion in our clients' pockets in just the last 4 years, and why we're one of the largest personal injury law firms in Texas. Car accident? Visit thomasjhenrylaw.com. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. Principal office, San Antonio.
iHeartRadio and NBC Sports bring you Two Guys, Five Rings.
Two Guys, Five Rings. Wow. We're your hosts.
I'm Matt Rogers.
I'm Bowen Yang.
One essential podcast for the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy.
Milan Cortina. They're actually making the huge mistake of sending us there.
The most expansive Winter Olympics ever.
Follow Two Guys, Five Rings and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Listen to the Two Guys, Five Rings podcast on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart.
Every Olympic dream starts with a first glide. Through Learn to Skate USA, kids build confidence, strength, and joy on the ice. Learn to Skate USA offers programs for skaters of all ages and abilities. Find a program near you at learntosskateusa.com.
Whether it's fast breaks, big shots, or loud crowds, Texas basketball delivers it all. And Bud Light keeps it all refreshing. It's light. It's crisp and built for game time, because when you're in the arena, you want to make sure that Bud Light is close and in a hand, because Bud Light is the official domestic beer of Texas basketball. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
The biggest night in football is almost here. On Kalshi, you can now legally trade game day props, like will a quarterback win MVP? Yes, it's trading at 27%, meaning a $100 trade pays out $371 if it hits. And Kalshi isn't betting. It's a live market where you could trade against other people, buying in and out as prices move. Download the Kalshi app, use the code PODCAST to get $20 when you trade $100. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Tonight, kick off the Winter Olympics in style with the opening ceremony from Italy.
Team USA, we are ready to roll.
Tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on NBC and Peacock.
Sports lives on the iHeartRadio app, the home of the Super Bowl 60 tailgate concert presented by NetApp. Big game coverage, the Winter Olympics from Milan, NBC's official audio partner, Fox Sports Radio, ESPN, and sports betting. Search
from Dave's Hot Chicken. From the Audio Visual Consultation Studios, Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KBDT AM Austin, your home for the Horns, and the #1 preset in your car and on the free iHeartRadio app. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
Two legendary coaches, Vic Schaefer, Kim Mulkey. Top 5 matchup. Number 5 LSU against number 4 Texas.
Back out to Preston again. Brianna Back to Crump. This time she does measure up a three and knocks it down. Into the front court, here's Booker. Maddie on the left side, spin move around traffic. Now out front to Brianna Preston. In the corner, Jordan Lee, contested three, and it's good for Jordan. Into the front court, Harmon out front. How about Booker for three? Nope. Yes! It rattled out and then popped back in. Madison Booker with 12. The Longhorns have the lead. Back in front, 32-31. To the right side for Wiley. Left-hand dribble. Swings it out. Stolen by Harmon. Rory, a steal, a pass to Booker. Lead pass. Sidbury off the glass for two. LSU has the pass stolen by Crump. Aaliyah out to Booker. Into the paint to Sidbury. She scores. The steal by Crump to Booker to Sidbury. Texas up 14. 67-53. Still looking. Lobs it in. It's stolen by Harmon. And she's fouled by Full Wiley. 10 on the shot clock. 14 on the game clock. Harmon, left side, still working the dribble down to 5 seconds. Backs it out for 3 seconds. Left side. Harmon shoots a fadeaway. Missed it off the rim. Oldacre, the rebound out front to Harmon. That's going to do it. The Longhorns get the win. Texas with the victory tonight. And they do balance the books with LSU. Final score here tonight at Moody Center in Austin. The Texas Longhorns 77. The LSU Tigers 64. Big win last night for the Texas women. Longhorns with that 77-64 win, holding LSU to just 64 points, one of the highest scoring teams in the country here. Third hour of the program on AM 1300 The Zone. Hopefully it's the last time I have to say this. I'm not dead. For those of you who saw that hoax or whatever it is, AI-generated clickbait, whatever, there was a thing that was out that was saying that I'd had what did it say? A terrible accident, that I'd passed away. It was a terrible accident. Someone thought
unfortunate accident,
whatever it was. They had nothing of the kind. I'm quite alive and well. So if you see or hear somebody says, "Hey, did you hear eat?" No, I didn't. I'm okay. It was some sort of AI generated hoax or whatever. So I'm fine. And we go forward with our number 3 of the program. Longhorns with the win last night, and Rory Harmon had a big turnaround. Remember the game back on January 11th in Baton Rouge, where she really struggled. She struggled to guard Michaela Williams. She struggled to guard most of their players there. Couldn't get it going from the offensive side. And ultimately sat on the bench in the entire fourth quarter of the game. And Schaefer was trying to shake up some things afterwards. Well, he didn't. And certainly turned around, and he had her on Michaela Williams last night, and it paid dividends. Yeah, Williams wound up with 20 points, but should have worked her a lot for her shots. LSU did not have a field goal in the final quarter until 1:53 remained in the game. Texas also got big performances off the bench from Taya Sidbury and, of course, Aaliyah Crump, who had 16 points. Madison Booker got him off to a hot start early. Texas with a huge win. And, it was a big win. Here was the conversation I had with Vic Schaefer right after the contest. I was saying earlier that the old great broadcaster Ben Scully used to talk about balancing the books, and your team certainly did so tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what the final outcome was, points and assists and all that, but, man, what a hell of a battle. Golly. But we really played some good defense that second half. I thought we were much more composed. They scored 24 points, maybe 28, 11 in the fourth quarter. That's a telltale sign of a damn good team when you shut down that team and hold them to 11 points in the quarter. So, man, what a win. Golly.
And
what a battle.
One of the things that stood out was they didn't get a field goal in the fourth quarter until there was under 2 minutes to go. What was the difference defensively in the second half?
Just a lot more focus. Our guards, thought our guards were really good. I thought Rorio and Michaela was spectacular. Just really a big difference. I came up with that this morning after watching film till 2 last night. I closed my computer last night and went, you know what? Rory's got to guard her. She guarded her here last year. I watched last year's game till 2. She did a good job on her. I thought we're going to have to find a way to make that happen.
And then the contributions you got off the bench, obviously Aaliyah, and I thought Taya really gave you some good minutes.
Taya and Aaliyah both were great. Booker got us off to a great start. But, man, Taya made some big plays, and Aaliyah, kid's a player. She can flat out play, man, make shots. She's incredible.
It's good to hang really right close to the top of the conference race, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we're half game out, one game in the loss column. So just got to keep winning, got to keep working, got to keep battling. I mean, this league's a nightmare.
No doubt about it. Enjoy this one. Congrats, man.
Yeah, man. Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.
Yeah, Texas with that win and big moments. We'll hear from Rory Harmon a little bit later on this hour and how she turned it around, not only against guarding Michaela Williams, but the totality of her game. And that was very, very important there for her. Now, and we'll have more on that. Of course, the Texas women's next action is Monday night against Kentucky, 6:30 tip-off time, 6:15 pregame start time here on the Zone. All right, Longhorn men in action tomorrow afternoon against Ole Miss. 1 o'clock is the tip time, 12:30 air time here on the Zone. And we'll hear from head coach Sean Miller coming up in a few minutes. Tonight is Longhorn Weekly at 7 o'clock, and you'll hear the program in its entirety. But we have another little excerpt from it, a sneak preview of it, his thoughts on LSU and about his bench players and the important contributions and impact made by Kendall Weaver and Lacina Traore, and what those guys have done, being able to come off the bench and what they've given this team. So we'll hear him talk about that coming up here in just a few minutes. The Super Bowl, of course, is this week. I'll tell you what, I don't want to just ambush you with it right now. Just think about it.
Okay.
When we get to the end of the program, you can tell me who you're picking to win.
Sounds good.
And give me a score when we get to the end of the program. In the meantime, and wanting to hear from some of the other guys in the Super Bowl, let's hear from the quarterbacks. Drake May, who finished one vote, 5 points shy of being named the most valuable player of the NFL. He came that close to beating out Matthew Stafford, who won the MVP. Stafford, by the way, the oldest first-time winner of the MVP award at 37 years and like 116 days, whatever it is, something like that. And he's the third oldest winner, period, of the MVP. Tom Brady won it at age 40. Aaron Rodgers won it at age 38. Stafford at 37. Peyton Manning also at 37 in a few days younger. But Stafford won it. But Drake May was the runner-up by one vote, 5 points. It was the closest MVP balloting since, I think they said it was Manning, not Manning and Brady, but Manning and somebody. It's 2003 is when it was. And there were two players who tied for maybe Ben Roethlisberger. I can't remember. Anyway, there were two players who tied for the MVP honor in 2003. And Manning was one of those guys. This was the closest race since then.
Okay, is Peyton Manning
Yeah.
another quarterback? 2003.
Okay, so it's not Brady.
They were co-winners. It's Peyton Manning
Right.
and Steve McNair.
McNair, that's it, Steve McNair. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the this vote for this MVP was the closest balloting they had since that tie, 4-03, separated only by one vote, 5 points. So Drake May has had a marvelous season. What's the biggest difference for him from last year to this year?
That's a great question. I think one of the biggest thing is, I think winning helps. Winning helps, and I think just buying into the same belief in each other and, what Coach Vrabel's trying to get accomplished. I think from day one, I feel like the guys have really kind of took what Coach Vrabel was wanting to do with us and have just really applied it to their lives in every single way, whether it's on the field, off the field, getting treatment, doing little things, making great decisions off the field. I think the biggest thing is just Coach Vrabel always says, he treats us how we treat the team. And I think that's how guys have taken this year. And I think it's just really, ride together and, want to play for each other. And, from there on, we just have had fun doing it, every single day since. And it's been a ride, and looking forward to, trying to finish it off.
The story's been written this week how he went to the 110 years ago when Peyton Manning and Denver beat out Carolina and Cam Newton in the Super Bowl. That was the only other time it's been in Santa Clara. And now they go back to Santa Clara. And how excited is he about this? And by the way, his shoulder had been kind of banged up. So how's that feeling as well?
I'm really excited. A chance to, play in this game is, a dream come true, and what you work for all year long. Like I said, I'm not trying to lie to you guys. I'm saying I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great and looking forward to get out there. Out here today, another week, another day of practice. Got one tomorrow, and, feeling pretty good.
Okay. All right. That was Drake May from yesterday. Sam Darnold from yesterday as well. Asked to describe the connection he's been able to establish with the guy who last night at the NFL Honors was named the Offensive Player of the Year. I did think it was kind of weird. The MVP is an offensive player in Matthew Stafford, but yet he wasn't the Offensive Player of the Year.
Right. Should that not be Drake May? Yeah, right. You pick the second best. Is it just a non-quarterback award at this point?
Yeah, it makes you wonder about that. But anyway, he was named the Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith and Jigma from Rockwall and the Ohio State University. And Sam Darnold was asked to describe the connection he has developed with JSN.
Yeah, I think it goes back to when we first got together really in the spring, just continuing to talk about, certain routes and dialogue about the offense. But I think even more importantly, it's our connection off the field. Just our chemistry has grown so much. And, I feel like the more that your chemistry grows off the field, it only helps you on the field. And, I firmly believe that. I feel like our whole team, our whole skill group, our whole, offensive line, tight ends, defense, special teams, I feel like we've all, grown together so much throughout this season. Just the love and the brotherhood that we all share together is something special. And something I've, there's so much, that's pretty rare, I feel like, in the NFL. And it's special to be a part of.
He was then asked about what the experience has been like there in Santa Clara and getting ready for pro football's ultimate game.
It's been great, man. Again, I think there were quite a few players that shared the consensus that it kind of feels like training camp again. Like we're all here in the hotel. We're able to just hang out and spend a bunch of time together, where I feel like during the course of a normal week, that doesn't necessarily happen. Yeah, we're hanging out with each other in the locker room from whenever 6:30 in the morning to 6 at night. But to be able to actually eat snack together, little things like that you don't get to do during the course of a season. So it's great to be with the guys again, busing to the practice facility, spending time in that locker room, busing back. So it's just, I think enjoying this moment is such a key for myself, but a lot of guys in that locker room, I know they feel the same way.
I smile, especially when you hear of football, but it goes beyond the boundaries of football. Use of the word snack. For example, when we were in Norman last Friday night, there was dinner for the team, and then we all sat in and was watching the film session of what they needed to do against Oklahoma. And when it was done, Ryan Reynolds, who's the chief of staff for Sean Miller program, was telling the guys, there's this for this, we had this time tomorrow morning, and by the way, we'll have a snack later tonight around 9:30. So it's a snack, and I've noticed it on the football itineraries and the baseball itineraries, there's this snack thing. And then the best line of all, Rex Ryan, when he was coaching the Jets and they were on Hard Knocks, and he's hammering home, now let's go eat a bleep snack. He says that. It's great. Love the let's go eat a bleep snack. So
didn't they have a guy named Snacks on that team too?
Yeah, might have.
Was it Harrison, the defensive tackle?
Yeah, might have. So anyway,
I should try saying that to my friends at the end of a fun night. Let's go get a snack.
Yeah, right, exactly. Up next, we're going to hear from Rory Harmon And we're going to hear from Sean Miller. So we continue on a Friday afternoon here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app. Hey there, Texas fans. This is your voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way, inviting you to join us for Longhorn basketball. We'll bring you all of the action all season long, including in-depth analysis and exclusive access to players and coaches before the opening tip and after the final whistle. Every week, we'll visit with Texas head coach Sean Miller on Longhorn Weekly. This is your exclusive source for Texas Longhorns basketball, the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.
On 1300 The Zone.
Now here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Friend. That's friend. Enter it now.
AM 1300 The Zone.
You know that feeling when you're watching a game and you feel like you already know the script? You can now turn that ball knowledge into real money on Better, and they pay you better for being right more than any other fantasy app out there. LeBron over 30 points, Mahomes under 250 yards. Just pick more or less on your favorite player's stats. Someone turned $100 into $200,000 and another hit $100K on just 4 picks. And Better has paid out over $250 million in winnings. Download Better Picks and turn your sports instincts into real money. Sports just got better with Better. Must be 21 or older in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
50 years in the Lone Star State, a one-stop shop so you're never late. Price is so low that you want to know
which way to Specs.
Come on, let's go.
Specs, fine spirits and fine fruits. World-class service, that's all about you.
Shop Specs, it's how we do. A huge selection since 62. Shop Specs, low price, amazing. Here's to you. Cheers to savings.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
24-minute delay right now, 35 northbound. That happens between Woodland Avenue and just before Airport. You have a wreck with the fast lane shut down, 35 the lower deck, southbound of Dean Keaton. Just under a 10-minute delay, slowing you down from Airport. And we do have the off-ramp partially blocked by debris on 183 southbound. It's going to be your off-ramp to Spicewood Springs. I'm Kat Cortez with your Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by NASCAR at COTA.
This isn't just race day. It's one big Texas-sized weekend. Big-time action on the track and big memories with your crew. February 27th through March 1st. Get tickets at NASCAR@COTA.com.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Just so I'm clear, do you feel pretty confident that you're going to be alive on Sunday?
I'm a third-generation reporter, and for years, I've been chasing Omar Hamami, a former Southern Baptist from Alabama, who by rapping and online videos became the face of jihad in Africa and one of the most wanted terrorists in the world. Eventually, despite rumors he'd been killed, I found Omar. Or more like, he found me. For more than a year, we corresponded in secret while he was hiding from U.S. forces, and eventually, on the run from the very insurgent group he put on the map. Slowly, I got close to Omar, closer than I ever thought I would. perhaps closer than I should. Was it good journalism? An ethical lapse? Was it my faith in humanity that kept me talking to Omar? Or something darker? My name is Christoph Putzel. This is American Jihadi.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
We all use AI, but here, it never pretends it's real. AM 1300 The Zone. Guaranteed human.
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets and not some slap team. That's what I want to see tomorrow. Do we understand what the I want to see tomorrow? Let's go to eat a damn snack.
And we're back to the Craig Way Show. Have a message for Craig? Share it by using the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app.
You know, there were a lot more bleeped out words in that rant from Rex Ryan than I remembered. I just remember the let's go eat a bleep bleep snack.
The bleep to word ratio is done in a way that only Rex Ryan can. The
best one bleep to word ratio I ever heard. The late Tommy Lasorda was really good at that too. This goes back 41 years. 40 years. It was the 85 season. So it goes back 40 years. The Cowboys won the NFC East that year. They beat out the Giants, and it was kind of a surprise. And they beat the Giants, sacked him several times, sacked Phil Simms several times. And in the locker room afterwards, there's one of our reporters. I was in the Cowboys locker room, and this other guy went into the Giants locker room. And Phil Simms dropped an F-bomb 10 times in a 25-second soundbite. One every 2.5 seconds.
High usage rate.
Yeah. So we had that one.
That's
for
talent.
A while. Yeah, and we put the bleeps in it, so it really accented it, as well. So, yeah, Rex Ryan there. Let's go to bleep bleep. And then you said what? John from the Bay also remembered that.
Yeah, he said, Craig, you beat me to it. That was right. He sent that in right when you brought up
the snack.
The snack.
You bring up the snack, it comes to mind there.
Damon Harrison's the guy I was thinking of, by the way.
Okay.
The defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Snacks.
Yeah, snacks. All right. John, you didn't mention if you got tickets to the game. It's right there in your backyard. I know you're a 49ers fan. Congratulations, by the way, Christian McCaffrey being named Comeback Player of the Year. There are a lot of people in this state who thought it should have been Dak Prescott. And I think he would be deserving, but I think McCaffrey might have been a little more spectacular at times. Now, John, it's about as far as I can go as a Rams fan saying that. But yes, he deserved that.
Sometimes you got to kick the field goal.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's hear from Rory Harmon, who had that marvelous game for the Longhorns last night, became the all-time career steals leader at Texas as well, and really was able to exercise the demons of that game a month ago in Baton Rouge, where she just struggled to guard defensively and ended up sitting in the fourth quarter. It's all part and parcel of the interview I had with her right after the game. Is it safe to say this was Rory's revenge, that sort of thing tonight?
Yeah, I thought I did better. I thought I was present. I thought I made myself present today. I'm just really super proud of the team that we played really tough today.
Let me ask you, what's the difference? What was the difference for you personally in guarding Michaela Williams from the first game to this game? What changed? What was different?
I've been guarding the team's most impactful player the last couple games. And I think I'm getting in a flow right now. I'm feeling it. I'm taking that assignment very personally. And so obviously she's a great player and she still had a good night, but I want to take it away as much as I can. And I thought I did that pretty good tonight.
Yeah. Does it make it easier for you and Maddie also on the offensive end when players like Taya and Aaliyah can come off the bench and do what they did tonight?
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at the stat sheets. I mean, Taya didn't miss a shot and Aaliyah was 7 for 10 and 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. So, I mean, that's just that's what we need. That's the depth that we're talking about. And that's what we're going to need down the line. I'm super proud of it.
Feels good to beat this group, doesn't it?
Yes, it feels good to remain undefeated at home right now. So that's what we want to do, defend our home court.
Congrats on the great win.
Thank you so much.
And she had a big part in all that. All right, so this is going to sound like it's off topic, Jake. I'm going to ask you this. Do we still have the soundbite from Chris Del Conte talking about what he'd like to see in terms of the playoff future and not having conference championships. Do we still have that soundbite?
We can have it. Give me a couple seconds.
Okay,
I can get it for us.
I'm going to set it up by saying, here's the deal. Texas with the win is in the thick of the fight for the SEC regular season championship. But the odds are going to be against them winning it because they lose the head-to-head tiebreaker to South Carolina. Now, they could wind up sharing the title, and you would get a trophy as being an SEC co-champion. South Carolina would draw the number 1 seed based on the head-to-head win, which, by the way, last year they split 2 regular season meetings, and South Carolina still drew the number 1 seed because it was a coin flip in the commissioner's office, in Greg Sankey's office. That never happened before. They had a coin flip. South Carolina wound up being the 1 seed. Didn't really matter. They still wound up meeting in the SEC tournament final. South Carolina won that one, and then they beat them in the head-to-head game in the Final Four. The reason why I even bring this up, this leads me into the soundbite from CDC, is that Texas doesn't necessarily, well, they don't have to win either the SEC regular season or the tournament to be placed where they want to be placed. And what I mean by that is they own 3 top 5 wins this year, and they have 4 top 10 wins. They have more ranked wins than anybody else this season. So the odds are really good. They're going to be a number 1 seed unless they just fall on their face down the stretch. Now, they've got some tough games left. I mentioned that. Next Thursday, they have to play at Vanderbilt. A week from Sunday, they have to play at Tennessee. So they've got some tough games left. Monday night is no picnic either. Kentucky's a good ball club, number 16, coming in to Moody. So, but if they stay strong like this down the stretch, they'll be a 1 seed without having to win the regular season title or even the postseason title, the postseason tournament title. That's what the strength of the regular season carries with it. That's the gravitas of being able to win the games you have to win, like last night's game. What does this have to do with Chris Del Conte? Listen to what he said, and this was something we played the other day, about coming off his town hall meeting. It was part of his town hall meeting about what he sees as a future for the college football playoff and conference championship games per se.
I prefer to expand that playoff a little bit. I prefer to preserve the regular season by playing great games and not dumbing down your schedule and play nobody with the hopes that you can get in the playoff because you played nobody. If we can strengthen our regular season and keep that where our fans are engaged and want to see great games and have an expanded playoff, that'd be awesome. I'm also in favor of moving the schedule up a week. Start week 0, which is the last week in August. Be a little hot here, but we've got to make sure it's a night game. I get that. But start in the last week in August and you play Labor Day weekend. I'm also in favor of why have a conference championship game? Let's start the playoffs that week. Start the playoffs that week, and let's play every single week. And the semifinals played on New Year's Day, which is college football, and the national championship a week later. That's what I'd like to see.
All good points. I pointed out yesterday that it might be difficult to jettison the conference championship games because the networks want them very, very much. And there is money that goes into the conference member schools' coffers by keeping them. But that's to be decided on down the road. My point about this and where it rolls back to the Texas women's team is you don't have to win that conference championship to necessarily to be a number 1 seed. They were co-champs of the SEC last year, and they lost in the conference tournament final to South Carolina. They were a 1 seed last year. They're a better team this year. This year's team's a better team. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go to the Final Four or go beyond it if they do get there. But it does mean they're a better team and they're capable of doing all that. And if they finish out as strongly as they've been going, they'll draw a number 1 seed. And if they draw a number 1 seed, I'm pretty sure they would be in one of the 2 regionals that's set up for Fort Worth. And again, that's different from the men's where they have the 4 regional sites, the men's tournament for Sweet 16 and Elite 8. For the women, they have 2 regional cities with 2 regionals played at each one. I think Texas was in Birmingham number 2 last year. So they had 2 in Birmingham and then 2 out west.
Here's what you really don't want this year.
Yeah.
You don't want to end up on the West Coast and have UCLA in your region.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great.
As either one could be a 1 or a 2 in that situation.
That's right. That's right. UCLA right now is on target to be a 1.
Right.
So if you go out to one, and Fort Worth has 2 regionals, the other one is Sacramento. So, yeah, it'd be a closer trip for UCLA, obviously, going to Sacramento. And you'd rather not go all the way out there. If you'd rather be in Fort Worth, if you could. Longhorns already played that building once this year. They blew out Baylor.
That win's aging great.
Yeah, it's looking good. Now, Baylor did get beat the other night by West Virginia the other day, but they're still going to be a good team, and they're going to be a highly seeded team, a 2 or a 3, somewhere. They're probably a 3, and depending on how they finish. But anyway, it's all still in front of them, is my point. Those things, even if they don't win the conference championship. Texas, the men, try to make sure they position themselves to be in the NCAA tournament. A win tomorrow against Ole Miss would get them to 6-5 on conference play. It's important. If you can get to 500 or better, even 8-10, I mean, given what they went through last year with the sub 500 record, still got in. If they got to 8-10, but 9-9 especially, or even above, winning record. But if they were able to get to 500 in conference play in that power league and with 4 wins over ranked opponents, you could feel really good about Texas getting into the tournament. We're getting ahead of ourselves on this. The next opponent is Ole Miss, and it's part of what I visited with. And again, you'll hear the program in its entirety tonight at 7:00, but this is another snapshot from the program, my conversation with Sean Miller on Longhorn Weekly with Sean Miller, talking about his bench players and about this matchup with Ole Miss. Before we get to talking about Ole Miss, just as a piggyback to what you were saying about when you're recruiting, size, and a player who has a certain skill level and things like that. There were 3 guys when we were talking about bench earlier, and all of them flashed into my mind when we were talking about how they play. Kendall Weaver, Simeon Wilcher, and Lucina Traore. Now, Lucina's big. Sim runs the point as a point guard, and Kendall plays big, doesn't he, with the way he can rebound for you?
He does, and I credit those 3 guys. In the last 2 games, Craig, I don't know if we win either of them if they don't perform the way they performed. But I'll start with Sim, who coming into the last 2 games was on a bad stretch of shooting, and I think he lost maybe a little bit of confidence. But he bounced back in Norman, Oklahoma in a huge way. His 3-point shooting, his defense at the end of the game, his playmaking, it renewed him. And I was so happy to see the smile on his face at the end of the game that he contributed in a big, big way towards our win. And I think that led him to playing the way he played against South Carolina, because he had 4 assists, no turnovers, came in the game, sparked us. If you look at the first half, similar to what Kendall Weaver did at Oklahoma, scoring 9 points in the first half, really getting our team to halftime. Sim kind of did that in the first half in a different way against South Carolina. I thought his play in the first half was inspiring to take a deficit and really make it an even game at the half. Kendall, it's a pleasure to be around, a pleasure to coach. There's no coach who wouldn't love to have him as part of their team. His rebounding on offense and defense, and you're right, how big is Kendall? How much does he weigh? He plays a lot taller and a lot heavier than his actual size. But rebounding and making good plays. He had a huge 3-point shot in the right corner in front of our bench. Again, I'm looking for him to shoot the ball even more consistently down the stretch. I've watched him for 4 or 5 months. It didn't translate right away, but I believe that he's a better overall shooter than maybe his percentage shows, and that will even out. That always has a way of even out if you continue to stay with your process and work ethic. And Kendall's one of our hardest workers.
Yeah, and then Lucina has really given you that extra boost off the bench when Modest either needs a break or might pick up an extra foul that he needs to go to the bench for, and you've freely substituted those guys even early in the games now.
against Oklahoma, Lucina really finished the game the last 8 minutes. Can't evaluate him in terms of points per game. For him, it's about rebounding. He's our best offensive rebounder per minute played. He's a very good defensive rebounder. He has a quickness and a strength defensively that I think complements our team very well. And when he's playing well, when he's a part of what we're doing, I feel like our team is just more physical. And he gives us that physical presence off the bench.
How about your thoughts on the opponent for Saturday, the Ole Miss Rebels?
Very good team. Just the next opportunity for us. I've said it before. I think it's a great way of looking at it. There's 1,800-point tests of all meaning. If this were a class, there's no pop quizzes. There's no, extra credit here. This is, if you're not ready, you will not get the grade or pass the test that you're trying to pass. Ole Miss is just a team that's incredibly dangerous, well coached, as we know, with Chris Beard, play really physical. They're a hard-playing group. They play a deep bench. On offense, they screen off the ball and run motion, shoot 2-point jump shots, which is different than a lot of teams in our league are now doing. And defensively, they play with a lot of energy. The way I describe the defense is they attack the ball, and we have to know that going in. So it's going to be a battle. We need a great crowd. We need a weekend crowd. We need a crowd here as we approach these final weeks of the season. We have 4 home games left at the Moody Center. And before you know it, you'll be saying, boom, we have 1 or 2. So I hope we can finish with a bang through not only our performance, but that home crowd, which is so meaningful to college basketball.
Yeah, without question. The game's at 1 o'clock. You can hear it here on the Zone beginning at 12:30. More coming up as we continue. And by the way, again, you can hear the show in its entirety tonight at 7 o'clock, Longhorn Weekly with Sean Miller. That's an excerpt from the show. The show in its entirety can be heard at 7 o'clock tonight right here on 1300 The Zone.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Austin area weather calling for clear skies tonight, a low of 47. Sunny tomorrow, high of 81, and then a low tomorrow night of 49.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
Need a new AC? Austin Energy's Home Energy Savings Program can help with rebates averaging $2,000 on whole home energy improvements. Call or visit abacusplumbing.com today for a free home energy savings project estimate. M20628.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TODAY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TODAY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TODAY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Searching online for a car? When you call that dealership, your first question should be, are there any extra costs to the price on your website? At Henna Chevrolet, our answer will always be no. Their answer, you don't want to know. Shop surprise fee free with Henna, where the price you see is the price you get. Absolutely no addendums ever. You deserve honesty. And that's what we run on. Together, let's drive at henna.com.
This month, iHeartRadio is celebrating the stars of the 2026 Winter Games. Park City, Utah is home to Alex Hall, an artist on skis. The defending Olympic slopestyle champion is known for his unique style and creativity that judges love. Whether he's grinding rails or launching massive jumps with his signature Buick Grab, Hall makes the impossible look easy. He drops into the course in Milano Cortina ready to defend his title and show the world the future of free skiing. For more Winter Games gold, search Olympics on the iHeartRadio app.
I am dedicated. I am TNT.
With Team in Training, you will reach your best physical self so blood cancer patients can reach theirs. Change your life by joining a marathon, half marathon, triathlon, or a cycle event, and you'll change the lives of blood cancer patients.
I am committed. I am TNT.
After 600,000 participants and almost $1 billion raised for treatments, TNT has helped the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society make a significant impact in the advancement of blood cancer therapies that save lives every day.
I am making a difference. I am TNT.
Join TNT. Expand your circle of friends to be part of a very special community. Train with world-class trainers and have the chance to be part of the most exciting endurance sports events in the country. Or train on your own schedule with TNT Flex. Join TNT and fundraise while you train and take part in getting us all closer to a world without blood cancers.
Join TNT now. Go to teamintraining.org.
Records, milestones, firsts, lasts, and everything in between. What happened today in sports history on iHeartRadio?
What's going on, fellow sports fans? It's Andy West. Let's look back on this day in sports history, February 6th. We'll start off today in 1988. The Bulls' Michael Jordan wins the NBA Slam Dunk Contest with a perfect score of 50 on his final dunk in front of the hometown crowd in Chicago. Today in 1990, Brett Hull of the St. Louis Blues scores his 50th goal, making him and his father, Bobby Hull, the only father-son combo in NHL history to reach that milestone. And today in 2011, Aaron Rodgers throws 3 touchdown passes and Nick Collins returns an interception for another score, leading the Green Bay Packers to a 31-25 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Now you know. Today in sports history on iHeartRadio.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Your home for the Horns.
Oh, darling, please believe me. I'll never do you no harm.
It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
A little more from Abbey Road there. To prove that Paul McCartney wasn't dead on the day when I'm having to prove I'm not dead, according to that fake AI-generated post.
I wonder if you'll be hearing about that for weeks.
The people flooding my Facebook page and Twitter and stuff was, oh, wow, I'm glad. Or why do people do stuff like that? Or prove it. Prove you're not dead. So prove you're who you say you are. Let's we got a couple more here on the talk back. Let's hear from a couple of folks.
Hey, Craig, what about the time when they used to have you giving the play-by-play and they bleeped it out? I don't remember what it's called, but it's pretty funny. It's very funny, very funny. Thanks.
I think it was one of the funniest things ever done on this radio station. And all of the credit, 100% of the credit, goes to Rod Babers. He and I were doing a show together at that time. We did a show together for 8 years. And he came up with something that he said he ripped off from Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, I've seen this.
The unnecessary censorship. So he would do unnecessary censorship of Craig Way. And what he would do is he would actually take play-by-play calls and bleep stuff at a moment of crescendo on a call to give the impression that I cussed. And I didn't. But it was so well done. Our producer at the time, Trent Geeson, did a great job with it. And it sounded pretty authentic. I had to think, I didn't really, it was that kind of stuff. And one really comes to mind. They were playing Baylor in basketball, and it was a real tough, physical, emotional game. And it got to a point where there was almost a fight that broke out in the game, and players had to be separated. And the officials came in, and they stopped it. And my comment was, They got in. They stopped it from happening there. Doug Sermons and his crew got in to stop it because there was about to be some serious, and I said serious stuff, but I dragged the S for a little bit. I said serious stuff going down. And it set up to where it sounded just like I said, serious,
Brilliant.
Yeah. It brought about a lot of laughter. So anyway, that's what it was. Rod Babers deserves all the credit for that. Unnecessary censorship of Craig Way. Got another one?
We do.
All right.
I don't understand why everybody is so worried about the early season games, win or lose. Just win the games. The teams that win the early season games make it to the playoffs and go deep into the playoffs usually. Texas just needs to be better earlier in the season. Coaches have all summer to get these guys ready for the first game. Get them ready.
Okay. It's a fair question. Easier said than done going to Columbus, Ohio to play Ohio State. But, there's two sides of the way folks look at that. You heard Sark say we chose to play the tougher schedule because we're told you're supposed to play the tougher schedule. And we could have played another cream puff like some of these other teams did, and we'd be 10-2 and wouldn't be having this discussion. The flip side of that is the folks saying, don't lose to Florida, and then you'd be 10-2, and we wouldn't be having this discussion. My response to that is both things can be true. If you win either of the games, the discussion doesn't happen on that. What Chris Del Conte's point is, from a fan perspective, folks would much rather see Texas play Ohio State than Georgia State at DKR.
Well, you can make a whole lot more selling tickets for Ohio State.
Absolutely. I mean, even if they're both sellouts, it's just a lot more fan interest if they're playing Ohio State than Georgia State. There's going to be more interest if they're playing Michigan than if they're playing Wyoming. There just is. And his point is, from the fan perspective, you draw them in that. But the double-edged sword is you're playing a much tougher opponent. So if you're not having to rely on a conference championship game to get you in the playoff, then okay. Then you're so that's the other side of looking at it. There's you can look at it from different angles on all of that.
Yeah, because the message they sent this year was it doesn't matter. You had no benefit whatsoever for playing that game because you lost. Obviously, if they won, they would have. It's a big risk reward.
Yep, it is. It's the way it is. And to the caller's point, yeah, if you win the games, you take care of your business. You're exactly right. That's the easiest way to do it. But as we know, other than Indiana, nobody won all the games.
Are Notre Dame or BYU going to Columbus and winning? They were ranked ahead of Texas at the end of the year for that last bubble spot. I know all three teams were left out.
Right.
But that was my gripe. Why are BYU and Notre Dame ranked ahead of Texas when the schedules are so vastly different?
And they didn't have 3 ranked wins over opponents. That's where the rub comes in on that. So everybody knows you win all the games, you're going to get there. It's the rub of what happens for those ones that are between the margins. That's where it's difficult to tell. All right, we'll be back to wrap up here on 13 Under the Zone.
iHeartRadio.
Olympics update.
Lindsey Vonn will race in the women's downhill event for Team USA despite that major knee injury. Her coach trusts she can compete.
I said the turns are her superpower, but so is this little head she got here. Like on race day, she's unbelievable. So I really think that she can do this.
Team USA aims for gold this weekend after Evan Bates and Madison Chalker, the top score in Friday's rhythm dance qualification round.
For NBC's live coverage from Italy, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
You know that feeling when you're watching a game and you feel like you already know the script? You can now turn that knowledge into real money on Better. They pay you better for being right more than any other fantasy app out there. LeBron over 30 points, Mahomes under 250 yards. Just pick more or less on your favorite player's stats. It's that simple. And Better gives you the highest potential payouts in fantasy, up to 10,000x. Download Better Picks and turn your sports instincts into real money. Sports just got better with Better. Must be 21 or older in a jurisdiction where Better Picks operates. Terms and conditions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Are you running for office and have a message you want every voter in your district to hear? Well, that's where radio comes in. Radio is your direct line to morning commuters, midday grinders, and late nighters. Radio puts your message right where your voters are. Plus, it's 1/10 the time and cost of video. Don't just campaign, connect with millions all over the country, even thousands in the smallest communities with radio. Be on the air in just 48 hours. Visit winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
This winter, the world will be watching the best skaters chase their Olympic dreams. For your child, that dream could start right here at your local rink. Through Learn to Skate USA, kids build strength, confidence, and courage, the same qualities that take athletes to the Olympic ice. Learn to Skate USA offers programs for skaters of all ages and abilities. This is where the journey begins. Find a program near you at learntosskateusa.com because every champion starts with a first glide.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Second opinions.
You get them with your health.
So why not with your wealth?
Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion.
At Henyon & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Henyon & Walsh, the second opinion people. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henyon & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henyon & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Coach Sark here. Back to the Craig Way Show on your home for the Longhorns, 1300 The Zone.
I didn't think I'd be closing the show this way when I walk into the building. And that is to thank everybody for the nice things when they thought I was dead or when they were trying to ask if I was dead. And no, I'm not. I'm not dead.
I'm not leaving.
That's
I'm not
right.
leaving.
Not yet, anyway. Yeah, that the whole AI generated thing. You know, somebody else pointed out on one of the posts that they did that Earl Campbell as well. Earl is still very much with us. So, and Dave South, longtime voice of Texas A&M Aggies, commented on my post. He said one of those posts came out that he had ALS like a week ago. It's like, if you're sitting around with the people who do these things, do they creatively try to find? Because all this said was that I died in, what was it said?
Unfortunate accident.
Unfortunate accident. I mean, that opens up a whole lot of possibilities. An unfortunate accident, maybe I get hit by a stray cannonball from a county fair or something. It's just weird. Anyway, thank you for all of you, the kind words and the support. I'm very much alive, albeit moody tomorrow for Texas and Ole Miss. 12:30 airtime, 1 o'clock tip-off. Don't forget Longhorn Weekly with Sean Miller tonight at 7. Bucky and BK up next here on 13 Under the Zone.
Tonight, kick off the Winter Olympics in style with the opening ceremony from Italy.
Team USA, we are ready to roll.
Tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central.